In life, we often encounter individuals who hurt us, betray our trust, and leave us questioning our worth. But let me remind you today, they know exactly how they wronged you. It is essential to recognize this truth, for it empowers you to rise above the pain they inflicted. When people wrong you, it is not always a matter of ignorance. They are fully aware of their actions. They choose their words, their behaviors, and their decisions deliberately. Their choices stem from their own insecurities and shortcomings, not from a lack of awareness. Understanding this can liberate you from the shackles of resentment and anger. You see, when they hurt you, they reveal not just their character, but also your strength. The very fact that you were targeted means you are a threat to their comfort. You possess qualities they wish they had: strength, resilience, and the ability to love deeply. Their wrongdoings are not a reflection of your worth, but a testament to your greatness. They fear what you represent, the potential to rise above and inspire others. Instead of allowing their actions to diminish your spirit, recognize this as an opportunity for growth. Your response to their wrongs defines you, not their actions. Choose to rise above their negativity. When you refuse to let their betrayal define your path, you demonstrate a level of maturity and strength that they may never understand. Do not give them the power to dictate your emotional state. Remember, your peace of mind is your greatest asset. They may know how they wronged you, but they cannot take away your ability to heal, to grow, and to move forward. You have the power to control your narrative. You have the ability to transform your pain into purpose. In every challenge lies an opportunity. Use their wrongs as fuel for your fire. Let their actions ignite your passion to succeed. Show them that their attempts to belittle you only propel you further. You are not a victim, you are a victor. You are not defined by their choices, you define yourself by how you rise after falling. Let forgiveness be your liberation. Forgiveness is not about letting them off the hook, it's about freeing yourself from the burden of carrying their wrongdoing. It's about recognizing that holding on to anger only weighs you down. Release that weight. Embrace the freedom that comes with letting go. As you move forward, remember this: they may know exactly how they wronged you, but they will also witness how you rise from the ashes of their betrayal. Your story will be one of resilience, strength, and ultimate victory. So walk in your truth, live in your purpose, and let your light shine brighter than ever before. You are not merely surviving, you are thriving. Embrace your journey and let every wrong they have done to you become a stepping stone toward greatness. Stand tall, for you are powerful beyond measure, and you will not be defined by their actions, but by your unwavering spirit. Let's dive into the first point: awareness of wrongdoing. It's essential to understand that those who wrong you are often fully aware of their actions. They know exactly what they did and the impact it has on you. This awareness speaks volumes about their character and the nature of their intentions. When someone chooses to betray your trust or inflict harm, it is not a moment of ignorance. It is a conscious decision rooted in their own unresolved issues, fears, or insecurities. Recognizing this reality can be incredibly liberating. It allows you to shift the focus from the pain they cause to understanding the dynamics at play. Their actions reflect their internal struggles, not your worth. When you realize that their behavior is more about them than it is about you, you can begin to detach your self-esteem from their negative actions. They might have made a choice to hurt you, but that choice does not define who you are. Imagine a world where you allow their choices to dictate your feelings. Every time they lash out or undermine you, you feel the weight of their betrayal. But when you understand that they know exactly how they wronged you, you empower yourself to rise above the pain. You recognize that their actions stem from their own limitations. They may be projecting their insecurities onto you, but you don't have to absorb that negativity. This awareness also brings clarity. It helps you understand that their need to belittle you or hurt you arises from their fear of your potential. They fear what they cannot control. They see your light, your brilliance, and it intimidates them. Instead of feeling anger or resentment, recognize this truth: their actions are often rooted in fear. They know exactly how they wronged you because they know what you are capable of achieving, and that frightens them. When you internalize this understanding, it transforms your perspective. You begin to see that you hold the power, not them. You are the one who gets to choose how to respond to their actions. You can either let their betrayal diminish you or allow it to fuel your rise. The choice is yours. Remember, they know how they wronged you, but their actions do not dictate your future. You have the opportunity to reclaim your narrative. You are not defined by their choices. Instead, you are defined by your ability to rise above and shine brightly despite their attempts to dim your light. Use this awareness as a stepping stone toward your greatness. Let it remind you that you are stronger than their betrayal, wiser than their tricks, and destined for greater things than they can imagine. Now, let's explore the empowering truth that recognizing their wrongdoing can bring. When you understand that they know exactly how they wronged you, you unlock a profound sense of empowerment. This awareness isn't just an acknowledgement of their actions, it is an understanding of your own strength and the control you possess over your response to their behavior. Often, when we are wronged, we feel like victims. We dwell on the pain and betrayal, allowing those feelings to consume us. But when you grasp that their choices reflect their insecurities, not your worth, you gain a critical insight that actions have no power over your identity. They may have hurt you, but they do not have the authority to dictate how you feel about yourself or your potential. Think about this for a moment. Their actions reveal more about them than they do about you. When someone chooses to hurt another, it stems from their own unresolved issues. They may be grappling with their own failures, fears, or feelings of inadequacy. Their need to project their pain onto you highlights their weaknesses, not yours. And that realization is transformative. You see, acknowledging their wrongdoing allows you to shift from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment. You begin to understand that their actions are not a reflection of who you are, but rather a manifestation of their internal battles. This knowledge frees you from the chains of resentment and anger, enabling you to embrace your journey with renewed purpose. Instead of allowing their behavior to dictate your emotional state, you can take control. You have the power to choose how to respond. You can channel the pain they inflicted into motivation to become better, to rise higher, and to achieve more. When you recognize that their actions are rooted in their fears, you can approach the situation with compassion rather than anger. You can pity their inability to see your worth while embracing your own. Imagine transforming the energy of their betrayal into fuel for your fire. Let their wrongs serve as a catalyst for your growth. Instead of feeling diminished, recognize that you have been equipped with the strength to overcome any obstacle. You can emerge from this experience with a deeper understanding of your capabilities. Their wrongdoings may have hurt you, but they will not break you. As you move forward, remember this crucial truth: you are not defined by their actions. Your identity is rooted in your resilience, your character, and your commitment to rise above adversity. By recognizing their wrongdoing and understanding their motives, you take the reins of your life. You become the author of your story, transforming pain into purpose and betrayal into breakthrough. Embrace this empowerment and let it guide you on your path to greatness. Let's delve into the third point: strength in targeting. When individuals choose to wrong you, it is crucial to recognize that their actions are often rooted in fear of your potential. They know exactly how they wronged you because deep down they see the qualities in you that they wish they possessed: the strength, resilience, and unwavering spirit. It is not just your achievements that threaten them, it is the very essence of who you are. You must understand that your light shines brightly, illuminating the darkness of their insecurities. When people feel threatened by your greatness, they often resort to undermining you, hoping to dim your shine. But let me remind you, this is not a reflection of your worth, it is an indication of your power. Your ability to rise, to inspire, and to lead is what creates fear in their hearts. They recognize the potential within you, and rather than uplifting you, they attempt to tear you down. Their actions are a testament to your greatness. You are not just a regular individual, you are a force to be reckoned with. You have gifts, talents, and abilities that can transform not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Your presence challenges them to confront their limitations, and that can be uncomfortable for those who are not ready to face their own shortcomings. When you understand this dynamic, it shifts your perspective completely. Think about the times you faced criticism or betrayal. Each act of wrongdoing was an acknowledgement of your strength. They felt the need to attack you because subconsciously they recognized the power you wield. Instead of letting their actions make you feel small, let them remind you of your potential. You are not meant to blend in, you are meant to stand out. You were created to make a difference, to rise above challenges, and to inspire others to do the same. Your ability to withstand their negativity speaks to your resilience. You are like a diamond forged under pressure, shining even brighter after being put through trials. Their attempts to belittle you only serve to highlight your inner strength. You must embrace the truth that your greatness cannot be diminished by their actions. Instead of being discouraged, let their attacks propel you toward your destiny. When you realize that your strength is what draws their ire, you can reframe the narrative. Rather than seeing yourself as a victim of their wrongdoing, recognize that you are a champion in the arena of life. You are not just surviving, you are thriving even in the face of adversity. You have the power to rise above their attempts to undermine you. Let their fear of your greatness fuel your passion and drive. When they choose to wrong you, see it as an opportunity to demonstrate your resilience. You are not defined by their actions, you are defined by how you respond. Embrace your strength, for it is a gift, and let it guide you toward your purpose. Stand tall, knowing that you are a beacon of hope and inspiration for others who may also face the challenges of being targeted by those who fear their potential. Your journey is one of greatness, and you have every reason to shine brightly for the world to see. Now let's explore the idea that your response defines you. When faced with betrayal or wrongdoing, it's easy to let those actions dictate how you see yourself. However, it's vital to understand that it is not their actions that define you, it is your response that reveals your true character. Every challenge, every act of wrongdoing presents an opportunity for you to show who you really are and what you stand for. When someone chooses to wrong you, they may think they hold the power. They believe their actions can diminish your spirit, break your resolve, or undermine your self-worth. But here's the truth: they underestimate you. You possess the incredible ability to choose how you respond to their negativity. Your response is a reflection of your strength, your values, and your commitment to living a life of purpose. Think about the power you hold in your hands. Each time you are wronged, you stand at a crossroads. You can allow their actions to push you down a path of bitterness, anger, and resentment, or you can choose to rise above. Your decision to respond with grace, integrity, and strength speaks volumes about your character. It shows that you refuse to be a victim of circumstances. Instead, you are a conqueror, determined to navigate the trials of life with dignity. When you respond positively, you demonstrate resilience and maturity. You showcase the fact that you are in control of your emotions and your future. This is where true strength lies, not in retaliating or seeking revenge, but in showing the world that you are unshakable. You have the power to transform their negative energy into a force for good in your life. Let their wrongdoing be a stepping stone to your growth rather than a stumbling block. It's important to recognize that how you respond can influence not just your life, but also the lives of those around you. Your reaction sets the tone for how others perceive challenges. When you handle adversity with grace and strength, you become a role model for others facing their own trials. They begin to see that it is possible to rise above negativity and create a life filled with purpose and passion, regardless of external circumstances. Imagine the impact you can have when you respond to wrongdoing with love and understanding. You are not merely reacting, you are proactively shaping your destiny. By choosing to rise above their actions, you position yourself as a beacon of hope for others. Your life becomes a testament to the idea that regardless of the wrongs done to you, you have the power to maintain your integrity and purpose. Your response is your legacy. It speaks to your values, your beliefs, and your commitment to a higher calling. When you choose to act with love instead of hate, compassion instead of bitterness, you write a powerful story that transcends your personal struggles. You send a message to the world that you are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond. In every situation of wrongdoing, remember that you have the ability to define your path. Your response is your declaration of strength, a refusal to let others dictate your emotional state or your future. Embrace this power and let it guide you as you navigate the storms of life. Stand firm in your truth, knowing that your response will shape not only your destiny, but also inspire those around you to rise with you. Let's now delve into the idea of controlling your narrative. When someone wrongs you, it's easy to feel like the victim in their story, as if they hold the pen and are writing your script. But here's the transformative truth. You are the author of your own life story. They may have made a choice to hurt you, but how you choose to respond defines the plot of your narrative. You possess the power to control your story and write it the way you desire. Every time you encounter wrongdoing, you have the opportunity to take the pen back into your hands. This is a powerful realization. Instead of allowing their actions to dictate your emotional state or your future, you can craft a narrative that reflects your strength, resilience, and determination. You can transform your experiences into lessons that propel you forward rather than holding you back. Think about the moments in your life when you felt wronged. How did those moments shape you? Were they moments of despair, or did they serve as catalysts for growth? The choice is always yours. You can choose to view those experiences as obstacles, or you can see them as stepping stones toward your greatness. Each wrong can be reframed as an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. When you reclaim control of your narrative, you shift your perspective from being a victim to being a victor. You begin to see yourself not as someone who has been harmed, but as someone who has survived and thrived. You take the challenges thrown at you and use them to build a stronger foundation for your future. Your narrative becomes a story of triumph over adversity, an inspiring tale of resilience that motivates others. It is essential to remember that how you respond to their wrongdoing is a reflection of your character, values, and vision for your life. You have the authority to determine what defines you. You can choose to let their actions hold you back, or you can let them propel you forward. You decide what lessons to take away from those experiences and how to use them to fuel your passion and purpose. By controlling your narrative, you also demonstrate to others that you refuse to be defined by external circumstances. You show them that your strength comes from within. You embody the idea that regardless of what others do, you have the power to choose your response and shape your destiny. This is a powerful message that resonates deeply, inspiring those around you to take control of their own stories. Imagine the impact of living a life where you acknowledge their wrongdoing without letting it define you. You recognize the challenges, but you don't dwell on them. Instead, you focus on the lessons learned and the growth achieved. You become an example of how to navigate the complexities of life with grace and strength. As you take control of your narrative, remember that you have the ability to create a future that reflects your dreams and aspirations. You are not bound by the actions of others. You are free to craft a life that is uniquely yours. Embrace this power and let it guide you as you move forward. Write your story with intention, purpose, and the unwavering belief that you have the strength to overcome any obstacle in your path. Your narrative is yours to control. And it is a story that deserves to be told with courage and conviction. Let's turn our attention to the concept of transforming pain into purpose. When someone wrongs you, it can leave deep emotional scars and feelings of resentment. Yet within that pain lies a tremendous opportunity for growth and transformation. The challenge we face is not merely the wrongdoing itself, but how we choose to respond to that experience. This is where the real power resides. You see, pain can serve as a powerful teacher. It has the ability to reveal your true character, your values, and your resilience. When you find yourself confronted with betrayal or injustice, ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? Instead of allowing the hurt to consume you, let it inspire you. Every challenge you face has the potential to be a stepping stone toward your purpose, propelling you closer to your destiny. When someone chooses to wrong you, it often highlights the areas in your life that need attention. It exposes weaknesses, unhealed wounds, and hidden fears. Acknowledging this is not a sign of weakness, it is an act of courage. It takes bravery to look within and confront the truths that arise from painful experiences. By embracing this process, you can harness the lessons learned to create a stronger, more purposeful version of yourself. Consider the notion that your pain is not in vain. Every struggle, every heartbreak, and every act of betrayal can fuel your drive for success. They become the motivation that pushes you to rise above and achieve greatness. Rather than viewing your experiences as setbacks, see them as setups for something greater. Your past does not dictate your future. Rather, it equips you with the wisdom and strength needed to navigate the path ahead. As you reflect on how you can transform pain into purpose, think about the power of your story. Your experiences can serve as a source of inspiration for others who may be facing similar challenges. By sharing your journey and how you overcame adversity, you not only empower yourself, but also uplift those around you. Your narrative becomes a testament to the idea that even in the face of wrongdoing, you have the ability to rise, heal, and thrive. Let's take a moment to envision the possibilities that emerge from this transformation. Each time you encounter pain, ask yourself how you can use it to fuel your passions and aspirations. Can you channel your energy into your career, your relationships, or your community? Instead of letting negativity drain you, allow it to become a catalyst for positive change. This shift in perspective is incredibly liberating. It allows you to reclaim your power and shape your destiny. When you adopt the mindset of transforming pain into purpose, you become a warrior on your journey. You are no longer defined by the wrongs done to you. You are defined by how you choose to rise above them. You cultivate resilience, determination, and a sense of purpose that cannot be shaken. This attitude becomes a beacon of light, not only for yourself, but also for others who witness your journey. In every situation where you feel wrong, remember this: you have the ability to turn your pain into a powerful force for good. Embrace the lessons learned and use them to propel yourself toward a future filled with promise and opportunity. Your past is merely a chapter in your story. It does not define the entire narrative. Instead, it enriches your journey, providing depth and understanding that will guide you to your ultimate purpose. By transforming pain into purpose, you unlock the potential within yourself to not only heal, but also inspire others to do the same. Embrace your journey and let your experiences become the foundation upon which you build a life of significance and impact. The power to create your future lies within you, and it is a future that is waiting to be written with courage, resilience, and purpose. Let's explore the importance of setting boundaries. When someone has wronged you, it's crucial to recognize the necessity of protecting your emotional and mental well-being. Establishing boundaries is not merely an act of self-defense. It is a declaration of your worth and value as an individual. You must understand that you have the right to dictate how others treat you, and this begins with setting clear boundaries. When you experience betrayal or mistreatment, it often stems from a lack of respect for your boundaries. People may have crossed lines, taken advantage of your kindness, or overlooked your needs. It's essential to recognize that this behavior is a reflection of them, not you. You are deserving of respect, kindness, and compassion, and it's time to demand that from yourself and others. Setting boundaries is an empowering act. It signifies that you are no longer willing to tolerate behaviors that undermine your dignity. It's about reclaiming your power and asserting your needs. By clearly defining what is acceptable and what is not, you create a safe space for yourself to thrive. This process involves honest communication about your feelings, expectations, and the standards you wish to uphold in your relationships. Think about the consequences of not setting boundaries. When you allow others to dictate how you should feel or behave, you risk losing your sense of self. You may find yourself compromising your values or enduring treatment that is beneath your worth. This leads to resentment, frustration, and even emotional exhaustion. But when you take a stand for yourself, you cultivate a sense of clarity and confidence that radiates from within. In this journey of establishing boundaries, it's important to remember that not everyone will respond positively. Some individuals may resist your newfound assertiveness. They may try to guilt you or manipulate your emotions to regain control. However, this is a crucial test of your commitment to honoring your own worth. Stand firm in your decision and don't be swayed by their attempts to undermine your boundaries. You are not responsible for their reactions. You are only responsible for your own well-being. By setting boundaries, you also create a ripple effect that influences those around you. When you demonstrate self-respect, you inspire others to do the same. You become a living example of how to establish healthy relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Your commitment to honoring your boundaries can empower others to recognize their own worth and establish their boundaries as well. In every situation where you have been wronged, ask yourself, what boundaries can I set to protect myself moving forward? Embrace the power of this question and let it guide you toward a healthier, more fulfilling life. Remember, you are the author of your own story, and you have the right to create a narrative filled with respect, dignity, and love. The boundaries you establish today will shape the relationships and experiences of tomorrow. Stand firm and let your voice be heard as you navigate this journey of self-empowerment and healing. Let's discuss the power of forgiveness. When someone has wronged you, the natural response might be to hold on to anger, resentment, and even a desire for revenge. Yet the path to healing and liberation lies in the act of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about condoning the behavior of others. It is about freeing yourself from the shackles of bitterness that can weigh heavily on your heart and mind. Understand this fundamental truth: holding on to grudges only harms you. The people who have wronged you may have moved on with their lives, but you remain tethered to the pain and the memories of their actions. This is a heavy burden to bear. Every time you revisit that pain, you reopen wounds that should have begun to heal. The emotional energy you expend on anger and resentment is energy that could be directed toward your growth, your dreams, and your purpose. Forgiveness is an act of strength. It requires courage to let go of the hurt and to choose to rise above it. It is a conscious decision to no longer allow someone else's actions to control your emotional state. When you forgive, you take back your power. You acknowledge the wrongdoing without letting it define your identity or dictate your future. You step into a space of personal empowerment where you no longer permit their actions to influence your happiness. Forgiveness also fosters healing. It creates a pathway to emotional and spiritual wellness, enabling you to move forward unburdened by the weight of past wrongs. When you forgive, you release the negative emotions that have been holding you back. This is a profound transformation that opens doors to new opportunities and experiences. It allows you to reclaim your joy, peace, and purpose. Now, forgiveness is not always easy. It often involves a journey of processing your feelings, understanding the impact of the wrongdoing, and recognizing the need for closure. It's important to allow yourself the time and space to heal. But understand that forgiveness does not require the other party to apologize or even acknowledge their wrongdoing. It is an internal decision that you make for yourself. Moreover, forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It is not about the person who wronged you. It is about your own well-being. Imagine waking up each day free from the weight of anger and resentment. Imagine living with a heart that is open to love and positivity. This is the power of forgiveness. It allows you to step into a new chapter of your life, one that is unburdened by the past and filled with potential. Remember, forgiveness is a process and it may take time. Be patient with yourself as you navigate your feelings. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your journey towards forgiveness. Engage in practices that promote healing, whether through prayer, meditation, or reflection. The act of forgiveness is a profound step toward reclaiming your life and embracing a future filled with hope and possibilities. Ultimately, forgiveness is a choice. It is a conscious decision to release the hold of the past and to embrace a brighter future. In every situation where you have felt wronged, consider how forgiveness can set you free. Recognize that those who have wronged you do not deserve the power to dictate your happiness. You hold that power, and by choosing forgiveness, you take back the reins of your life. Step forward with courage and embrace the freedom that comes from letting go. All forgive and watch as your world transforms into one filled with peace, joy, and boundless potential. Let's turn our focus to the concept of resilience. When someone has wronged you, it is easy to feel defeated, demoralized, and even tempted to retreat into a shell of self-doubt. However, true strength is not measured by the absence of adversity, but by how you respond to it. Resilience is the unwavering ability to bounce back from difficulties, to stand firm in the face of challenges, and to emerge stronger than before. Every time you encounter wrongdoing, you are presented with a choice to let that experience break you or to allow it to build you. Resilience is the foundation of your character. It is the ability to rise after every fall and to keep moving forward, regardless of the obstacles that may lie in your path. It's essential to recognize that setbacks do not define you. Instead, they are opportunities for growth and learning. Resilience requires a mindset that embraces challenges rather than shies away from them. It's about recognizing that pain is a part of life, but it does not have to be your identity. You have the power to transform your pain into purpose and your challenges into triumphs. This transformation is rooted in your ability to adapt and to remain steadfast in your beliefs and values, even when others may try to undermine them. When you embrace resilience, you cultivate an inner strength that is unshakable. You begin to understand that every wrong you experience can teach you valuable lessons about yourself and your capacity for growth. You develop a deeper understanding of your strengths, your values, and your aspirations. Resilience becomes a part of your identity, shaping how you approach future challenges and navigate through life. Moreover, resilience is contagious. When you demonstrate the ability to rise above adversity, you inspire those around you. Your story of resilience can be a beacon of hope for others who may be facing their own battles. By embodying this strength, you create a ripple effect, encouraging others to harness their resilience and to strive for their own greatness. Your journey becomes a source of motivation and empowerment, illustrating that challenges can lead to profound transformation. As you cultivate resilience in the face of wrongdoing, remember that it's essential to nurture your mental and emotional well-being. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who uplift and encourage you. Engage in practices that promote healing and strength, whether through prayer, reflection, or personal development. These practices will reinforce your resilience and empower you to navigate life's challenges with grace and determination. In moments of doubt or difficulty, remind yourself of your resilience. Recall the times you have overcome obstacles and emerged stronger. Embrace the truth that you are capable of enduring, thriving, and transforming your pain into a powerful narrative of triumph. The wrongs done to you do not define your worth. They are merely chapters in your story, and you hold the pen. As you move forward, embrace the spirit of resilience. Let it guide you through challenges, empowering you to rise above wrongdoing and to forge a path toward a brighter future. You are a warrior, and within you lies an unyielding spirit that will not be broken. Stand tall, harness your resilience, and let it propel you toward the greatness that awaits you. The world is watching, and your journey of resilience will inspire countless others to rise and embrace their own strength. Now, let's explore the transformative power of self-reflection. When you've been wronged, it's easy to focus all your energy on the actions of others, on the betrayal, and on the hurt you've experienced. However, true healing and growth begin when you turn that focus inward and engage in meaningful self-reflection. This process involves looking deep within yourself to understand your feelings, your reactions, and your role in the circumstances surrounding the wrongdoing. Self-reflection is not about assigning blame to yourself. Rather, it is about gaining clarity and insight. It allows you to dissect the situation, to understand the emotions it stirred within you, and to assess how those emotions influence your responses. Ask yourself the hard questions. Why did their actions affect me so deeply? What lessons can I extract from this experience? How can I prevent similar situations in the future? This introspective journey is where real growth occurs. By reflecting on your experiences, you develop a heightened sense of self-awareness. This awareness enables you to recognize patterns in your life and relationships. You begin to see how certain choices or responses may have contributed to the dynamics that led to your pain. It empowers you to break free from cycles of negative behavior or toxic relationships, allowing you to make more informed and constructive choices moving forward. Self-reflection also offers you an opportunity to redefine your values and priorities. You may discover that certain relationships or situations do not align with your true self. This realization is crucial as it provides you with the clarity needed to let go of what no longer serves you and to embrace a path that resonates with your authentic self. As you engage in this process, remember that it's a journey of growth and transformation, not a destination. In moments of self-reflection, practice self-compassion. Understand that everyone makes mistakes, and it's part of being human. Allow yourself to feel the pain, but don't let it become your identity. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment and be gentle with yourself as you navigate through them. Embrace the idea that your past does not dictate your future. It is merely a chapter in your life story that contributes to the wisdom and strength you possess today. Moreover, self-reflection fosters resilience. As you gain insights into your reactions and feelings, you empower yourself to respond differently in the future. You learn to rise above the hurt and to navigate through challenges with greater emotional intelligence and maturity. This transformation is vital. It allows you to approach relationships with renewed understanding and empathy, not just for yourself, but for others as well. Engaging in self-reflection can also enhance your decision-making skills. When you take the time to analyze your experiences, you equip yourself with the knowledge necessary to make choices that align with your values and aspirations. You begin to discern what is genuinely important to you, which guides you in building relationships and pursuing opportunities that resonate with your true self. As you embark on this journey of self-reflection, consider incorporating practices that facilitate this process. Journaling is a powerful tool for capturing your thoughts and emotions. Writing down your experiences allows you to externalize your feelings and gain perspective on them. Meditation can also be beneficial, providing you with moments of stillness and clarity to connect with your inner self. In every moment of self-reflection, embrace the opportunity for growth. Recognize that your experiences, even the painful ones, are shaping you into a more resilient and enlightened individual. The wrongs inflicted upon you can serve as catalysts for transformation, propelling you toward a deeper understanding of yourself and your purpose in life. As you reflect, hold on to the belief that you are on a path of continual growth and evolution. You are not defined by the wrongs done to you. Instead, you are defined by how you choose to rise above them. Engage in self-reflection with an open heart and a willing spirit. Embrace the lessons learned, the insights gained, and the strength acquired. You are becoming the best version of yourself, one reflection at a time. As we conclude this journey of understanding and empowerment, let us remember that the wrongs we experience do not have the final say in our lives. Those who have wronged us may be aware of their actions, but it is ultimately our response that defines our path. We have explored the importance of resilience, forgiveness, and self-reflection tools that equip us to rise above adversity and transform our pain into power. Understand that your experiences, even the most painful ones, are stepping stones toward your greater purpose. They can serve as catalysts for growth, revealing the strength and determination that lie within you. You possess the ability to break free from the chains of bitterness and resentment, choosing instead to embrace a future filled with hope, healing, and boundless possibilities. Let your journey of healing inspire you to move forward with confidence and clarity. Trust in your ability to navigate life's challenges, knowing that you are equipped with the wisdom gained from your experiences. Embrace the lessons learned and allow them to guide you in creating a life that aligns with your true self. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a warrior of your destiny. Stand tall and refuse to allow the actions of others to dictate your worth or your happiness. Your value is inherent, and it shines brightly even in the face of adversity. As you step into the future, carry with you the knowledge that you have the power to create the life you desire. Let your journey be one of resilience, growth, and unwavering strength. The world needs your light, your story, and your unique gifts. So rise, reclaim your power, and walk boldly in the direction of your dreams. You have the strength to overcome, the wisdom to learn, and the heart to forgive. Go forth, knowing that you are more than the wrongs done to you. You are a testament to the strength of the human spirit, capable of achieving greatness against all odds. The best is yet to come, and it begins with you. There are moments in life when people around us begin to realize something profound that we know. It's not just the knowledge that we possess, but the depth of insight and understanding that reveals itself over time. They know you knew everything. They know you knew the truth long before it was spoken aloud, long before it became evident to others. And what do you do with that knowledge? What do you do when those around you realize that you've been ahead of the game, that you've seen the bigger picture while they were still caught in the fog? The first thing you must understand is that knowledge carries responsibility. It's easy to speak when you don't know. It's easy to act out of ignorance, But when you truly know what's going on, you are held accountable for what you do with that knowledge. People who know that you knew everything will watch you carefully. They will scrutinize your actions, your choices, your every step. Why? Because deep down they recognize something in you that they can't yet grasp themselves. They feel the power of knowing, but they don't know what to do with it. You do. In this world, knowledge isn't just power, it's influence. It's the ability to shape the course of events, to change outcomes, and to make decisions that others might not even see coming. But when people realize you knew everything, they will try to understand why you remained silent, why you didn't rush to act. And that is where wisdom enters. Wisdom teaches you the timing of knowledge. It teaches you when to speak and when to be silent, when to move forward and when to stand still. There is power in your restraint. And they know that you knew everything. They may try to challenge your quiet strength. They may want you to prove your worth or validate your actions. But what they fail to see is that your knowledge doesn't need validation from them. It is rooted in your own understanding of purpose. Your purpose, not just for today, but for the future. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to rush. You are secure in the knowledge that you are walking in alignment with what has been destined for you. So the question becomes not about proving you know everything, but how to use that knowledge to elevate your life and the lives of others. When they know you knew everything, it's because the truth is written on your heart. And the manifestation of that truth is in your actions. Let them question, let them wonder. In the end, your purpose will speak louder than words, and your actions will resonate with those who are meant to see it. There is a saying that when you are truly in alignment with your calling, those who are meant to walk with you will see it. They will recognize that you were never trying to prove anything. They will understand that you knew, but what mattered more was not just knowing, but how you lived. And it is in that quiet, unwavering confidence that your true power is revealed. Keep walking in what you know, for the world will catch up to the truth eventually. You don't have to shout it. You don't have to argue about it. You simply have to live it. They know you know everything, and that's why they'll watch. But when the time comes, they'll follow, not because of your knowledge, but because of the wisdom in how you used it. Knowledge is not simply the accumulation of facts or the ability to repeat information. It is the power to change the course of events, to shape realities, and to influence the world around you. When you know, truly know something, it transcends surface understanding. It becomes a force that is alive within you. This kind of knowledge holds weight, and with that weight comes responsibility. Every decision you make, every word you speak, every action you take is shaped by what you know. But there's a deeper aspect to this power. It's not just about knowing the facts. It's about knowing how to use them. When you are aware of something others are not, you hold a unique position. You have the ability to guide, to direct, and to lead others without even saying a word. This kind of knowledge isn't something to be wielded recklessly. It is a powerful tool, one that requires wisdom, patience, and discretion. The true power of knowledge lies in its ability to create opportunities, to open doors, and to bring clarity where there is confusion. Yet, most often, it is not used to its full potential. People with this kind of insight can see through the noise, see beyond the moment, and can discern the path that others are not yet able to see. This vision doesn't just allow you to navigate the present more effectively, it also gives you the ability to anticipate future challenges and opportunities. The people who know you've seen it all, who know you are ahead of the game, will start to recognize that what you have is not just ordinary knowledge, but a deep, intuitive understanding that can direct not only your own life, but influence the lives of those around you. The truth is that knowledge is not always about accumulating more or understanding more complex theories. Sometimes it's about seeing what others fail to see, understanding what's unspoken, or recognizing patterns before they are even visible to the ordinary eye. It is that deeper level of awareness that makes knowledge so powerful, and why, when others realize that you knew everything, they often react with awe, respect, or even suspicion. They sense the depth of understanding you carry, and they recognize that it's not just surface level wisdom, it's something far more potent. When you truly know, you are not bound by the limitations of your surroundings or the constraints of popular opinion. You can move beyond what is in front of you and take action that others may not be ready for. With this power comes the weight of responsibility, as knowing carries with it the duty of how you use that knowledge. Will you use it for your own gain, or will you use it to lift others up, to guide them towards a better understanding of themselves and the world around them? The true power of knowledge comes not in keeping it for yourself, but in using it to help others grow and expand their understanding. That is the power of knowledge, and the tremendous power of the angel when you possess the knowledge that others lack. It's not for the purpose of elevating yourself above them, but rather to help them see what you see and to guide them to a higher level of awareness. Knowledge, when used rightly, becomes a bridge that connects us all, allowing us to elevate each other and move forward together. It becomes not just an asset, but a service to humanity. There is a unique strength in silence, a power that many overlook. When you know the truth, when you see the bigger picture, the natural urge might be to speak out, to correct, to act immediately. But those who are truly wise understand the value of restraint. They understand that silence is not weakness, but an incredible display of strength. When people around you begin to realize that you knew everything all along, they may expect explanations, demands, or actions that align with their own limited understanding. Yet, your silence, your stillness, speaks volumes that words cannot convey. And that is us. Speaking of the eagles, they speak without thinking, creating actions and consequences. It takes a remarkable level of inner strength to hold on to knowledge without rushing to prove you are right. To remain composed when others are oblivious to what you see requires a quiet confidence that does not seek validation from others. This restraint isn't about apathy or indifference. It's about understanding that not every moment is the right moment to reveal what you know. True wisdom lies in discerning when to speak and when to remain silent. Glance. Silence allows the truth to unfold naturally, without force, and it often holds more power than any argument could ever wield. People may mistake your silence for uncertainty or ignorance, but deep within, you know it is anything but. It is a conscious choice, an intentional act of strength that allows the situation to reveal itself without your interference. There is immense clarity in silence, a clarity that those who are quick to speak or act may never experience. Silence creates space for reflection, for observation, and for the wisdom to surface. It allows others to reveal themselves and their motives, and it grants you the advantage of seeing the full picture before deciding your next move. When they know you knew everything, they will begin to question why you didn't act sooner, why you didn't shout from the rooftops or rush to fix the situation. But what they don't understand is that silence is often the most strategic move. In silence, you observe. In silence, you learn. And in silence, you position yourself for a response that is not reactionary, but deliberate, purposeful, and impactful. Silence gives you the power to act from a place of strength rather than emotion. It shows that you are in control, not just of the situation, but of yourself. This silent strength does not seek to overpower others or to dominate them with your knowledge. Instead, it seeks to lead by example, to demonstrate that real power does not need to be loud or aggressive. It is the quiet assurance that you are secure in what you know and in who you are. When people realize that you knew everything, they might expect you to gloat or to demand recognition. But when they are met with your calm, composed silence, they will see a strength that commands respect and leaves a lasting impression. Silence also protects you. It keeps your intentions hidden and your wisdom intact until the right moment. It shields you from the chaos of unnecessary conflict and allows you to operate with precision and clarity. When you remain silent, you are not surrendering, you are strategizing. You are conserving your energy and your resources for the moments that truly matter, the moments that will define your impact and your purpose. There is power in knowing that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. When you are silent, you are not diminishing your knowledge, you are elevating it. You are giving it the space it deserves to manifest in its own time, in its own way. And when the time comes for you to speak or act, your words and actions will carry the weight of your silence, the weight of someone who knows, who understands, and who acts with wisdom and purpose. That is the essence of silent strength. Timing is everything. Knowing something is powerful, but knowing when to act on that knowledge is the hallmark of true wisdom. Many people confuse the possession of knowledge with the urgency to share it or act on it immediately. They feel a compulsion to make their insights known, to prove their intelligence or foresight to others. But wisdom teaches that the timing of knowledge is just as important as the knowledge itself. To act prematurely is to risk misunderstanding, rejection, or even failure. To wait too long is to miss the opportunity altogether. The ability to discern the right moment to speak, to act, to reveal what you know, this is where true mastery lies. When you know everything, there is a temptation to show your hand, to demonstrate that you've seen the flaws, the solutions, the paths others have missed. but timing holds the key to impact. Acting out of season, even with the best intentions, can create chaos instead of clarity. There is a rhythm to life, a divine cadence that guides when and how knowledge should be used. When you align yourself with that rhythm, your actions carry a greater weight, and your words find the ears they were meant to reach. To act at the wrong time, even with the right knowledge, is to risk being ignored or misunderstood. It is not enough to know what others do not. You must also understand the dynamics of the moment, the readiness of those around you to receive the truth you hold. If you rush to reveal everything before they are prepared, your words may fall on deaf ears. Timing is about recognizing the readiness of the environment, the maturity of the people involved, and the season in which you are operating. Sometimes people are not yet in a position to understand or appreciate the knowledge you possess. It is not your job to force them into that understanding. It is your responsibility to wait for the moment when your knowledge will bring light instead of confusion. This understanding of timing also protects you from unnecessary conflict. When people are not ready to hear the truth, they may resist it, argue against it, or even attack you for revealing it. By waiting for the right moment, you allow circumstances to unfold in a way that makes the truth undeniable. Your knowledge, when revealed at the right time, becomes a solution rather than a disruption. It brings resolution instead of division, clarity instead of chaos. The discipline of timing requires patience, and patience is not passive. It is an active process of observation, reflection, and preparation. While you wait for the right moment, you are not idle. You are watching, learning, and positioning yourself for the impact you are destined to make. You are preparing your heart and mind, ensuring that when the moment comes, you can act with confidence and precision. Patience is not about delaying for the sake of delay. It is about ensuring that your actions are aligned with the purpose and timing that will yield the greatest results. Bubtu. When others finally see that you knew everything, they might question your silence or your delay. They might wonder why you didn't speak out sooner or act more quickly, but they will also see that your timing was deliberate, that your restraint was purposeful. They will realize that you were not driven by ego or the need for recognition, but by a deep understanding of the right moment to act. And when you do act, it will be with a clarity and effectiveness that leaves no room for doubt. Timing transforms knowledge into wisdom and wisdom into impact. It is the bridge between knowing and doing, between understanding and changing. When you master the timing of your actions, your knowledge becomes a tool of transformation, not just for yourself, but for everyone it touches. This is the power of acting not just with knowledge, but with wisdom that understands the value of the right moment. Not everyone will celebrate what you know. In fact, the more profound your knowledge, the more it may unsettle those around you. This is a reality that comes with the weight of understanding. When people begin to realize that you knew everything, that you saw what they didn't, they are often faced with their own limitations, their own misjudgments, and even their own insecurities. This recognition can evoke admiration in some, but provoke resistance, envy, or even hostility in others. It is a paradox of human nature. People are drawn to wisdom, yet they can be intimidated by it when it challenges their perception of themselves. Knowledge exposes. It brings light to areas others may prefer to keep hidden, whether those are weaknesses, mistakes, or motives. When you carry a deep understanding, it is not always welcome because it forces others to confront truths they may not be ready to face. Some will see your knowledge as a threat to their sense of control or authority. They may feel exposed in your presence, not because you've spoken a word, but simply because your insight illuminates what they'd rather keep in the shadows. This discomfort often manifests as resistance, denial, or an attempt to discredit you. You may find that people will question your motives or doubt your intentions when they discover the depth of your understanding. They may accuse you of knowing too much, as if knowledge itself is a burden you should not carry. But this is not about you. It is about the discomfort they feel in the presence of someone who sees what they cannot. You must recognize this response for what it is: a defense mechanism, a reaction to their own insecurities, and not take it personally. If you let their resistance discourage you, you risk dimming the light of your own wisdom to make others feel comfortable. That is the hidden regret of the wise man. The challenge is to remain steadfast and gracious in the face of such resistance. Knowing everything does not mean flaunting it or using it to elevate yourself above others. It means having the maturity to understand that your knowledge is not meant to tear others down, but to guide them forward, even if they resist at first. Your role is not to force acceptance, but to be a steady presence of wisdom and clarity, trusting that in time the truth will speak for itself. Resistance to your knowledge is also a test of your character. It challenges you to remain humble and patient even when others misjudge or criticize you. It requires you to separate your identity from the reactions of those who may feel threatened by what you know. Your value is not determined by how others respond to your insight, but by the integrity with which you carry it. True wisdom is not reactive. It is steady, consistent, and unshaken by external resistance. This is why discernment is so crucial. Just because you know something doesn't mean you need to prove it or defend it in every situation. Not everyone is ready to receive what you know, and not every environment is conducive to the truth you carry. Part of wisdom is recognizing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait. This discernment protects your knowledge from being wasted on those who are not yet ready to understand it. Over time, the resistance you face may soften as people begin to see the fruit of your wisdom. They may not admit it openly, but they will come to respect the depth of your understanding and the strength of your character. Even those who once opposed you may find themselves drawn to the light of your insight when they realize it was never meant to harm them, but to help them grow. This is because the Holy Ghost is the strength of your character. Knowing everything is a privilege, but it is also a responsibility. It requires navigating resistance with grace, humility, and patience. It demands that you remain true to the purpose of your knowledge, even when others fail to see it. And it challenges you to be a source of light and truth, even in the face of darkness and doubt. There is a power in silence that many underestimate. In a world where everyone is quick to speak, quick to react, and quick to prove themselves, silence can be the most profound response. When you know everything, it is not your job to announce it to the world or seek validation for your understanding. Instead, silence becomes your ally, a shield that protects your knowledge until the right moment comes to act or speak. Silence does not mean weakness. It is a deliberate choice to preserve your energy, your wisdom, and your intention. Remaining silent in the face of misunderstanding or opposition requires immense strength. It is tempting to correct those who misjudge you or defend yourself against false assumptions. But when you choose silence, you are showing a mastery over your emotions and a trust in the process. You are declaring that you do not need the approval of others to validate what you know. Your silence communicates a confidence that words could never fully express. Silence also creates a sense of mystery. When people know that you knew everything but cannot fully grasp your thoughts, it compels them to reflect more deeply. They begin to question their own assumptions, and in that questioning, they often arrive at truths they would have rejected if you had tried to force them into the open. Your silence allows others the space to wrestle with their own understanding and come to their conclusions without feeling threatened by your knowledge. When you know everything, silence is a form of strategy. Speaking prematurely can expose you to unnecessary risks. It can reveal your insights to those who might misuse them or undermine your position. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to observe, to discern the motives of others, and to decide how best to use your knowledge. It gives you time to think, to prepare, and to ensure that when you do act, your actions will carry the weight of thoughtfulness and precision. Silence also speaks volumes about your character. It shows that you are not driven by ego or a need to dominate conversations. Instead, you are willing to step back, listen, and let others reveal themselves. This kind of restraint earns respect, even from those who may not understand you. It demonstrates a maturity that values wisdom over recognition and purpose over pride. 1. In your silence, people will often assume they have the upper hand. They may mistake your quietness for ignorance or a lack of confidence. Let them think so. Your silence is not for their understanding, but for your purpose. When the time comes for you to act or speak, the weight of your words and actions will be undeniable. Until then, your silence guards your strength, ensuring that you remain focused on what truly matters. Silence is not passive, it is active. It is not about withholding for the sake of withholding, but about preserving your energy for the moments that truly matter. It is about choosing your battles and understanding that not every situation requires your input. When you know everything, silence becomes a filter, separating what is worth your attention from what is not. In time, people will begin to see the depth of your silence. They will realize it was not emptiness, but fullness, not hesitation, but preparation. They will come to understand that your quietness was not a sign of weakness, but of profound strength. And when the time comes for you to reveal what you knew all along, they will see the wisdom in your choice to remain silent until the moment was right. Silence is a gift, both to yourself and to those around you. It is the space where wisdom matures, where understanding deepens, and where purpose finds its clarity. When you embrace the power of silence, you are not withholding, you are elevating. You are giving yourself the freedom to act with intention and the confidence to know that what you hold within is greater than anything you could ever say too soon. Timing is everything. Knowing everything does not mean you need to act on it immediately. It is one thing to possess knowledge, but it is an entirely different matter to apply it wisely. The wisdom of timing transforms mere understanding into impactful action. There is a season for every revelation, and knowing when to act is just as critical as knowing what to do. Acting prematurely can squander the very opportunities your knowledge was meant to unlock, while waiting for the right moment can magnify its effect. Number 4, timing requires patience, and patience is often the hardest virtue to practice when you carry deep understanding. There is a tension that comes with knowing more than others, especially when you see the pitfalls they are heading toward or the opportunities they are blind to. The urge to intervene, to step in and fix things immediately, can be overwhelming. But wisdom teaches that not every situation is ready for your insight. Sometimes the ground must be prepared before the seed of truth can take root. The right timing aligns your actions with purpose. When you act at the right moment, you find that your efforts are met with less resistance, and the impact of your decisions resonates more profoundly. Acting out of sync with the right timing, however, often leads to frustration, misunderstanding, and missed opportunities. It is not just about being right. It is about being effective. Your knowledge is a tool, and like any tool, it is only useful when applied at the right time and in the right way. Timing is also about observation. It requires you to stay attuned to the dynamics around you, to watch for the subtle shifts in circumstances that signal the right moment to move. This is not a passive waiting, but an active readiness, a state of preparedness where you are constantly evaluating and discerning the environment. It is the wisdom to know when to wait, when to hold back, and when to move forward with conviction. Understanding timing also means recognizing that some truths are better revealed gradually. When people are not ready to receive what you know, delivering it too soon can create more harm than good. Timing allows others the space to grow into the understanding they need to fully appreciate the truth you bring. It respects their process and trusts that in time they will be ready to hear what they could not before. There is also a humility in honoring the importance of timing. It acknowledges that the world does not revolve around your knowledge alone. Timing teaches you to be patient with others and to trust the flow of events. It requires you to let go of the need for immediate results and to focus instead on the greater purpose behind your knowledge. This humility strengthens your character and deepens your influence, because people can sense when your actions are driven by purpose rather than impulse. Timing protects your energy. When you wait for the right moment, you avoid the frustration of wasted effort and the disillusionment of unmet expectations. You learn to conserve your strength for when it is truly needed, ensuring that when you do act, you can give your best. Acting at the right time not only amplifies your impact, but also preserves your peace of mind, because you know you acted in alignment with wisdom. The beauty of timing is that it often brings unexpected alignment. When you act at the right moment, you find that things fall into place in ways you could not have orchestrated on your own. Doors open, resistance fades, and opportunities multiply. This is the power of timing. It not only maximizes your effectiveness, but also reveals the harmony that comes with acting in sync with a higher purpose. To know everything is a gift, but to act at the right time is a mastery. Timing turns knowledge into transformation, not just for yourself, but for those around you. It teaches you to trust the process, to embrace patience, and to honor the journey of growth. When you wait for the right moment, you align yourself with a rhythm that transcends mere understanding and steps into the realm of wisdom and impact. When you know everything, it is not just the knowledge that matters, but also how you choose to carry it. Humility becomes your foundation, a quality that transforms raw understanding into wisdom that serves not only yourself, but also those around you. Knowing everything does not mean you must elevate yourself above others or parade your knowledge for recognition. True humility allows you to remain grounded, even when your understanding far surpasses that of those around you. It reminds you that knowledge is not a license for arrogance, but a responsibility to lead with grace. Humility ensures that your knowledge is wielded with care. It tempers the temptation to correct or dominate others with your insights. Instead, it invites you to listen, to empathize, and to approach others with respect, even when you know they may be wrong. Humility teaches that your role is not to overwhelm people with what you know, but to inspire them to seek the truth for themselves. It is the quiet strength that allows you to hold back, to guide gently, and to make others feel empowered rather than diminished. Carrying knowledge with humility is not about diminishing yourself or pretending not to know. It is about recognizing that no matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. It is about being open to new perspectives and understanding that the wisdom you hold is part of a much larger picture. This openness keeps you from becoming rigid in your thinking or dismissive of others. It allows you to see the value in every interaction, even with those who may not match your level of humility. Also builds trust. When people sense that you do not use your knowledge to belittle or control, they feel safe in your presence. They are more likely to open up, to share their thoughts and vulnerabilities, and to seek your guidance. Humility creates a bridge between you and others, a connection that is rooted in mutual respect. It makes your knowledge accessible, not as a tool for self-promotion, but as a gift to uplift and inspire. Through humility, you learn to value the process over the outcome. You understand that the purpose of knowledge is not to prove how much you know, but to serve a higher purpose. This perspective allows you to let go of the need for recognition and focus on the impact of your actions. Humility frees you from the weight of seeking approval, enabling you to move with clarity and purpose. Humility is also a safeguard against the pitfalls of pride. Knowledge can be intoxicating, tempting you to believe that you are untouchable or beyond correction. But humility reminds you that wisdom is not static. It is a journey of continual growth. It keeps you teachable, open to feedback, and willing to admit when you are wrong. This posture not only strengthens your character, but also deepens your influence as people are drawn to those who lead with authenticity and grace. Carrying knowledge with humility allows you to focus on service rather than status. It shifts your perspective from self-centered ambition to a desire to contribute meaningfully to the lives of others. When you act with humility, your knowledge becomes a tool for healing, building, and restoring rather than for dividing or elevating yourself. It transforms your understanding into a source of light that others can follow without feeling overshadowed. Humility is a reflection of inner strength. It shows that you are secure enough in your knowledge to not need constant validation or acknowledgement. It reveals that your confidence is rooted not in how much you know, but in how you use that knowledge to make a difference. Humility is not a sign of weakness. It is the mark of someone who understands the true purpose of knowledge. In the end, humility magnifies the impact of what you know. It allows your knowledge to flow freely, unencumbered by ego or the need for control. It ensures that your understanding becomes a blessing to others, a force for good that uplifts, inspires, and transforms. When you carry knowledge with humility, you align yourself with a purpose that transcends self-interest, turning your insights into a legacy of wisdom and service. Understanding everything does not mean you must reveal everything. Silence, strategically employed, can be one of the most powerful tools you possess. There is immense wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to remain quiet. It is not always necessary to reveal what you know, nor is it always the right moment to do so. Silence, in its essence, is not about withholding, but about creating space for reflection, for understanding, and for growth. It is a tool of discernment that allows you to navigate relationships and situations with wisdom and care. Silence allows you to observe. When you refrain from speaking, you gain the clarity to see beyond the surface. It gives you the opportunity to watch people's actions, to understand their motives, and to discern their intentions. Words can often mask the truth, but actions rarely lie. In your silence, you are able to perceive patterns, uncover hidden dynamics, and position yourself with precision. It is in the quiet moments that the most profound revelations occur. Not because you are speaking, but because you are listening. Silence also protects your knowledge. Not everyone is ready to receive what you know. Sharing too much too soon can lead to misunderstanding, resistance, or even misuse of the information you hold. Silence guards against this by allowing you to control the flow of your knowledge. It ensures that when you do choose to speak, your words carry weight and are delivered to those who are ready to hear them. Silence is not a weakness. It is a sign of strength and self-control. In relationships, silence can be a shield. When others attempt to provoke or undermine you, responding with silence can disarm them. It denies them the reaction they seek and forces them to confront their own behavior. Silence in these moments is not about passivity, but about maintaining your power. It is a declaration that you will not be drawn into unnecessary conflict or drained by negativity. Silence, when used wisely, communicates strength and composure without the need for words. And Heishi also told us that silence, when used wisely, communicates strength and composure without the need for words. Silence also creates an aura of mystery. When you do not reveal everything, people are left to wonder what you know. This can work to your advantage, as it keeps others on their toes and prevents them from underestimating you. Silence draws respect because it signals that you are in control, not only of your knowledge, but also of your emotions and actions. It shows that you are not impulsive or easily swayed, but deliberate and thoughtful in all that you do. Silence fosters respect for boundaries. When you choose silence over unnecessary explanations or defenses, you communicate that your understanding does not need external validation. You show that you are confident enough in what you know to let your actions speak louder than your words. This kind of silence commands respect because it demonstrates that you are not seeking approval, but are grounded in your purpose and principles. This silence also provides space for others to reveal themselves. When you do not fill the air with your words, others feel compelled to speak. In their speaking, they reveal their thoughts, their intentions, and often their vulnerabilities. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting back to them their own actions and words. It allows you to gain deeper insights into their character and motivations, insights that you would have missed had you been too quick to respond. Moreover, silence can amplify your words when you finally choose to speak. The less you speak, the more weight your words carry. People listen more intently because they know that when you do choose to share something, it is thoughtful, deliberate, and significant. Silence makes your speech impactful because it is not wasted on trivial matters. It ensures that your voice is heard when it truly matters. Silence is not the absence of communication, but a different form of it. It speaks volumes without uttering a single word. It communicates restraint, wisdom, and depth. It shows that you are not ruled by the need to always be heard, but that you understand the value of timing and the power of letting your actions speak louder than your voice. Silence, when coupled with understanding, becomes a force that transforms situations, relationships, and outcomes. Through silence, you align yourself with wisdom. You recognize that not every moment demands your voice, and not every truth needs immediate expression. Silence teaches patience, nurtures understanding, and preserves peace. It is not about withholding, but about waiting. Waiting for the right time, the right place, and the right people to share what you know. In silence, you find strength, clarity, and the power to wield your knowledge with purpose and precision. Silence is not just a tool, it is a virtue that magnifies the impact of everything you know. Patience is the quiet force that sustains you when you know everything, yet choose to wait for the right moment to act. It is not weakness or indecision, but an intentional pause that allows time to unfold in your favor. Patience teaches you that not all battles need to be fought immediately, and not all truths need to be revealed on your timeline. So it reminds you that the power of knowledge is not just in its possession, but in its application at the precise moment when it can create the most impact. Patience enables you to see beyond the urgency of now. In a world that constantly demands quick reactions and instant results, patience becomes a rare and invaluable strength. It teaches you to resist the pressure to respond impulsively, to defend yourself unnecessarily, or to act out of frustration. Instead, it calls you to pause, reflect, and align your actions with your greater purpose. Patience ensures that your decisions are not driven by emotion, but by wisdom, allowing you to act from a place of strength rather than weakness. It is reasoning that holds fast to the thing that is fast. In relationships, patience creates space for understanding and growth. It helps you endure moments when others may not see your perspective or recognize your knowledge. Patience is not about tolerating disrespect, but about giving others the opportunity to learn, to evolve and to meet you where you are. It reminds you that transformation takes time and that the seeds you plant today may take seasons to bear fruit. Patience allows you to remain steadfast in your vision, even when the results are not immediate. Patience also builds resilience. When you choose to wait, you are training yourself to endure challenges with grace. You learn to withstand setbacks, delays, and disappointments without losing sight of your goals. Patience strengthens your character because it requires discipline, self-restraint, and unwavering faith in the process. It teaches you that delays are not denials, but opportunities for growth and preparation. Through patience, you become unshakable, rooted in the assurance that what is meant for you will come in due time. There is a strategic power in patience. It allows you to observe the unfolding of events, to understand the dynamics at play, and to position yourself wisely. When you act with patience, you do not rush into situations unprepared or expose your plans prematurely. Instead, you wait for the right conditions, the right opportunities, and the right people to align with your purpose. Patience ensures that when you do act, your efforts are not wasted, but are met with maximum effectiveness and impact. Patience teaches you to trust in timing. It reminds you that not everything is within your control and that some things are orchestrated by forces greater than yourself. When you are patient, you release the need to force outcomes or manipulate situations. Instead, you allow the natural flow of life to bring what is meant for you. Patience is an act of faith that reassures you that everything is unfolding as it should, even when you cannot yet see the full picture. Patience also protects your peace. When you choose to wait rather than react, you free yourself from unnecessary stress, conflict, and regret. Patience keeps you from engaging in battles that are not yours to fight, or from expending energy on matters that will resolve themselves with time. It allows you to maintain your focus and preserve your emotional well-being, even in the face of provocation or uncertainty. Patience is a shield that guards your mind and heart, ensuring that you remain centered and unshaken. When they called you the problem, they likely missed the bigger picture that the problem wasn't you at all. Sometimes people are quick to judge what they don't understand. They see you pushing boundaries, asking questions, challenging the norm, and suddenly you're the one disrupting their peace. But let me tell you, true change makers have never had it easy. From Joseph in the pit to David in the wilderness, the people who dared to stand against what was wrong were often the first to be labeled a problem. You see, being called the problem isn't a verdict on who you are. It's a reflection of the environment you're in. People often label you when they can't control you. When you walk in purpose, when you know who you are, your presence alone can expose what others are hiding. And let me be clear, it takes strength to withstand the criticisms, the judgments, and the misinterpretations. But let it be known that those who stand for something bigger than themselves will always face resistance. When you shake things up, the world around you starts to rattle, and that makes people uncomfortable. The truth is, they called you the problem because you didn't just go along with everything. You refused to settle for half-truths and surface-level answers. You saw the broken systems, the weak foundations, and you decided to speak up. You chose to walk in integrity when others were content with mediocrity. And that's why they pointed fingers. They didn't know what to do with someone who wouldn't just accept things as they are. Remember, Joseph's brothers called him a problem because of his dreams. They saw his vision as a threat. But in God's eyes, that dream wasn't a problem. It was his purpose unfolding. Your life is not defined by those who misunderstand you. No, you're here for a reason. And sometimes that reason means being uncomfortable. It means standing up in the face of criticism and saying, I will not back down from what I believe. People might call you the problem, but what they really mean is that you're challenging their comfort zones. You're stepping into a space that demands honesty, integrity, and growth. And growth isn't easy. It disturbs people. But don't ever let someone else's label deter you from your calling. When God gives you a purpose, He also gives you the strength to carry it through. So let them call you what they will. Let them judge. Because at the end of the day, you're accountable not to them, but to a higher standard, to a vision that's bigger than yourself. People might see you as the problem today, but remember, history tells a different story. Those who stood for what was right, who wouldn't bend to the pressures around them, they're the ones who changed the course of their families, their communities, and sometimes even the world. You might be called the problem now, but one day those same people will look back and realize you were the solution all along. People are quick to label what they don't fully understand. When someone doesn't fit into their preconceived ideas or social molds, it's easier for others to say, you're the problem, than to ask why their perspective is different. But what they're really expressing is their discomfort. People judge what disrupts their sense of normalcy or forces them to look at things they may not want to see. When you question patterns, habits, and assumptions, you're challenging the comfort zones that many cling to. And this discomfort doesn't stem from who you are, it stems from what you represent. Sometimes, by simply being true to yourself, you remind others of what they're ignoring or avoiding. When you carry a purpose and a clear vision, it shines a light on things people prefer to keep in the shadows. It's easier for them to say, you're the issue, than to face their own areas of complacency. So they judge, they label, they point fingers, thinking that by silencing you, they can protect their comfort. Yet this judgment isn't a measure of who you are, it's a reflection of their limitations. It reveals that they may be unwilling to grow, to understand, or to accept a reality different from their own. When they call you the problem, it often means you're asking the questions they'd rather not answer. And that takes courage. You're not the problem, you're just disrupting what's easy and familiar. And that's something only those with vision can truly understand. Throughout history, those who dared to stand up for what was right and pursue their purpose often found themselves judged, criticized, and labeled. Joseph's story, for example, reminds us that even when he shared his God-given dreams, his own family couldn't understand. His brothers saw him as a threat to their own comfort and security, calling him the problem. But what they saw as disruptive was actually a calling placed on him by God. Joseph was labeled not because he was wrong, but because he was different. He had a vision others couldn't yet comprehend. This pattern is seen again and again in the lives of people who made a difference. David, a shepherd boy destined to be king, faced similar rejection. When he stepped forward with courage, others saw him as a nuisance or an outsider, not understanding the strength God had placed within him. He was often labeled as overconfident or naive, but his actions later proved that he was anything but. David was driven by purpose, and those around him struggled to understand it. When people step into their purpose, especially if that purpose is profound or unexpected, it disrupts the status quo. The very ones meant to support them might be the first to reject, criticize, and even try to suppress them. People resist what they don't understand, and they label others because it's easier than embracing something that challenges their perception of the world. But those who are brave enough to carry a higher calling often find themselves misunderstood. They endure the criticism because their focus is on a vision that goes beyond approval or acceptance. History honors these people because, in the end, their contributions spoke louder than the labels they carried. Being called a problem can be a powerful indicator of the true issues within an environment. Often, it's not the individual who is flawed, but the surrounding system, mindset, or culture that struggles with change. When someone is labeled as a problem, it may mean they're holding a mirror up to aspects of the environment that others would rather ignore. Instead of examining whether the structures around them are healthy, fair, or truthful, people find it easier to single out the individual as a source of discomfort. Environments that are unwilling to evolve tend to resist those who disrupt the status quo. If you challenge mediocrity or point out weaknesses, it threatens a sense of stability for those around you. People who are too comfortable might fear that confronting the truth will require them to change, to question, or to let go of long-held beliefs. So instead of asking, what is this person revealing to us? They label them the problem, thinking that by silencing one voice, they can preserve a false sense of peace. This is common in places where conformity is valued over growth, where fitting in is more important than being authentic. Sometimes the problem isn't the one who questions, but the system that demands silence and obedience. And it's often in these environments that true leaders, visionaries, and change makers stand out, not because they are difficult, but because they are unwilling to accept what doesn't align with their values. Rather than resisting the person labeled as a problem, there's an opportunity for those in the environment to look inward and ask if there's something that needs to change. Those who are called problems can reveal the exact areas that require attention and growth, but that's only possible when the environment is willing to listen. So being called a problem is sometimes a testament to the courage of standing up for truth in a space that may not be ready to hear it. Labels like the problem often arise when others feel a loss of control. When you walk in purpose with clarity about who you are and what you stand for, you become less moldable and less willing to conform to expectations set by others. For some people, this is unsettling. They're used to influencing, directing, or shaping the behavior of those around them. And when someone steps out of that pattern, it's as though their sense of control is slipping away. This is especially true when your presence challenges the familiar rhythms they depend on. People often react by projecting their discomfort onto you, making you the issue, rather than questioning their own need for control. When you don't fit into their box or follow their rules, they feel threatened, as if your independence is a direct challenge to their authority. This loss of influence over you, whether intentional or not, disrupts their comfort, making them label you as difficult, rebellious, or problematic. But really, they're struggling with the realization that you've chosen to live by your own standards, a choice that defies their expectations. And the truth is, purpose-driven people can't be easily controlled because their focus is beyond pleasing others. It's aligned with something greater. They aren't motivated by popularity or acceptance, but by an inner conviction, and that makes them resilient to criticism and resistant to control. The more you walk in that conviction, the more you naturally expose the control others may try to exert simply by refusing to conform. And this refusal isn't out of disrespect, it's out of integrity and an unwavering commitment to the path that feels true. Instead of trying to adapt or fit into their system, you're choosing to stay rooted in what you believe. And because people can't mold what they don't control, they choose to label you as the problem, hoping it will isolate you or make you second-guess your choices. But standing firm in your purpose will always challenge those who rely on control to maintain their own sense of security. In that sense, you're not the problem. Rather, you're revealing just how fragile their control is. And that's a powerful thing. Standing up for what's right, especially in environments that have grown comfortable with mediocrity, can make others feel unsettled, leading them to see you as the problem. Integrity requires a level of truthfulness that not everyone is ready for. When you choose to act with integrity, you're setting a standard that may highlight the lack of honesty or authenticity in those around you. By simply being true to yourself and holding fast to your values, you create a contrast that can make others feel exposed or uncomfortable with their own compromises. In a world that often prizes convenience over conviction, choosing integrity can be seen as disruptive. If you speak up when others remain silent or hold yourself accountable when others make excuses, your actions reveal what's possible and set a higher standard. This can feel like a challenge to people who prefer to take the easier road. They may label you as difficult, stubborn, or uncompromising, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your integrity reminds them of the compromises they've accepted. Integrity isn't always easy, and it rarely brings instant approval. It may mean standing alone or going against popular opinion. Yet it's exactly this steadfast commitment that distinguishes purpose-driven individuals from the crowd. While others may conform to fit in, those who choose integrity find themselves set apart. And being set apart often attracts criticism from those who feel exposed by the light of authenticity. Rather than question their own values, it's easier for them to label you as the problem, as it shifts attention away from their own shortcomings. But this kind of resistance is simply part of the journey of integrity. People may misunderstand, label, or even ostracize you, but when you choose to stand firm in truth, you're reflecting something powerful. Over time, integrity speaks louder than words. Even if others don't immediately appreciate it, they will recognize it. Your integrity, though challenging to others in the moment, ultimately encourages those around you to reflect on their own actions, setting a standard that transcends criticism and stands as a beacon for what is right. When individuals with a strong vision express their ideas or dreams, it can create ripples of discomfort among those who are not prepared to embrace such change. Just like Joseph in the Bible, who shared his dreams of greatness with his brothers, you may find that your aspirations are met with skepticism, envy, or outright hostility. In Joseph's case, his brothers couldn't see the potential in his vision. They only felt threatened by it. They labeled him a problem because they feared the implications of his dreams. Instead of supporting him, they sought to diminish him, believing that by tearing him down, they could protect their own positions and sense of security. This dynamic often plays out in our own lives. When you articulate a dream or vision that seems bold or ambitious, others may react defensively. They might view your aspirations as a challenge to their own achievements or a reminder of their own unfulfilled potential. It's not uncommon for people to feel inadequate when confronted with someone else's dreams, leading them to push back instead of encouraging you. They may dismiss your ideas as unrealistic or overly ambitious, labeling you as a problem because your vision disrupts their complacency. Moreover, dreams can evoke feelings of jealousy or resentment in those who are struggling with their own aspirations. When you step forward with a clear vision, it highlights the contrast between your ambitions and their stagnation. Instead of fostering an environment of encouragement, they may choose to criticize or label you, as it's a way of diverting attention from their insecurities. They may say, "You're too ambitious," or "You're creating problems for the rest of us," when in reality you are simply pursuing what you believe you are meant to achieve. It's essential to recognize that these reactions are not about you. They reflect the internal struggles of those who feel threatened by your light. Your dreams can serve as a mirror, reflecting what others may fear or wish they had the courage to pursue. Embracing your vision, despite the resistance you may face, requires strength and conviction. Understand that being labeled as a problem is often the consequence of living authentically and pursuing your purpose, but this should never deter you from following your path. When you remain steadfast in your vision, you may inspire others to reconsider their own limitations and aspirations. Over time, those who once saw you as a problem might come to admire your tenacity and courage. Your dreams can spark a transformation not just within you, but within those around you, encouraging them to reconsider their own potential and possibilities. So continue to hold fast to your vision, even if others label you as the problem. For it is often those who dream boldly who ultimately pave the way for change and growth in the world. When faced with criticism or judgment, it's crucial to remember that your purpose transcends the opinions of others. You are not defined by their labels or judgments. You are shaped by a higher calling that guides you. People may see you as the problem because your choices and convictions challenge their comfort and understanding, but that's a reflection of their limitations, not your worth. Understanding that your purpose comes from a divine source allows you to remain grounded in your identity. When you embrace this truth, you begin to recognize that the opinions of others are often rooted in their insecurities or fears. They might feel threatened by the light you carry or the path you walk. Your purpose, when fully realized, often shines a spotlight on the inconsistencies in their own lives, prompting them to either confront their realities or push back against you. Rather than succumbing to their perceptions, lean into the understanding that your calling has a profound significance that extends beyond your immediate surroundings. This divine purpose empowers you to act with integrity, courage, and resilience, even in the face of misunderstanding or criticism. By staying true to what you know you're meant to do, you become a testament to the transformative power of living authentically. As you journey through challenges, it's vital to cultivate self-awareness and self-acceptance. Recognize that your value is inherent and you have the right to pursue your dreams without the need for validation from others. The world may try to label you based on their fears, but it's essential to remind yourself that you have a unique role to play. Your purpose isn't up for negotiation, and it doesn't require others' approval to exist. In this way, your unwavering commitment to your purpose can inspire others to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and authenticity. As they witness you standing firm, they may begin to question their own doubts and insecurities. They might see that being true to oneself is not a problem, but a powerful choice that encourages growth and change. So continue to pursue your purpose boldly, for it is the divine calling within you that will ultimately shape the world around you. Your journey serves as a reminder that labels do not define you. Rather, they are mere reflections of those who may not yet understand the depth and significance of your calling. Your purpose is your truth, and it will always guide you toward fulfilling your destiny, regardless of how others choose to perceive you. Your journey is uniquely yours, shaped by experiences, insights, and a sense of destiny that others may not fully grasp. When they label you as the problem, it often reflects their inability to understand the depth of your journey and the struggles you faced. Each challenge you encounter serves a purpose, refining your character and equipping you with the resilience needed to pursue your calling. Your life experiences are like stepping stones leading you toward a greater understanding of yourself and your mission. As you navigate the complexities of life, you may encounter situations that test your resolve. It's easy to feel disheartened when others project their judgments onto you, but remember that your journey is not designed to be comprehensible to everyone. Each setback, each moment of doubt, and each triumph contributes to a unique narrative that is essential to your growth. The lessons you learn are not merely personal, they can inspire others who find themselves in similar struggles. People often view the world through their own lenses of experience, which can lead to misunderstandings. When you speak about your journey, it may seem alien to those who haven't walked a similar path. This disconnect can prompt them to label you as a problem because they're unable to empathize with your perspective. Instead of seeing the value in your experiences, they focus on their discomfort, making it easier to dismiss you than to engage in meaningful dialogue. But remember, your journey serves a higher purpose. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of faith. When you choose to share your story, your struggles, your victories, and your unyielding pursuit of purpose, you open the door for connection and understanding. You can inspire others to confront their own challenges, encouraging them to see that their journeys too have meaning. In embracing your story, you also embrace the reality that not everyone will understand or appreciate it. Some may continue to see you as the problem, but that label doesn't diminish the significance of your journey. It is a reminder that you are paving a path that others may not yet have the courage to tread. Your journey is a light for those who feel lost in their own paths, showing them that they too can navigate the obstacles in their lives. Ultimately, your journey is not just about you, it is about the impact you can have on others as you continue to walk in your purpose. You become a beacon of hope, illustrating that overcoming struggles is possible and that each individual has the potential to turn their challenges into opportunities for growth. As you remain steadfast in your journey, you inspire others to do the same, transforming the narrative from one of labeling to one of understanding and empowerment. Your experiences shape not just your destiny, but also the lives of those around you, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate circumstances. When you're labeled as the problem, it often signals that you're standing at the intersection of transformation and resistance. This point highlights the truth that your presence alone can spark change within a group or environment. By challenging the norms and expectations of those around you, you may inadvertently activate their fears and insecurities. People often resist change as it requires them to confront their own behaviors, beliefs, and complacency. Your journey toward authenticity and purpose naturally invites others to reflect on their lives, creating a space for self-examination that can be uncomfortable. This discomfort leads some to label you as the problem, as they prefer to remain within the safety of familiarity. However, transformation is rarely easy or comfortable. It often involves shaking the very foundations of what people consider normal. You may find that your ability to provoke thought and dialogue exposes the underlying issues that others would rather keep hidden. Being a catalyst for change means that you are often met with resistance. People may feel threatened by the prospect of having to change their habits or beliefs. They may label you as the problem in an attempt to discredit your influence and deflect attention from the truths you are revealing. However, this labeling is less about you and more about their unwillingness to face the realities of their situations. Instead of shying away from this resistance, recognize it as a sign of your influence. Understand that your courage to step into your truth can inspire others to reconsider their past. You hold the potential to ignite change, even if it initially feels uncomfortable or met with hostility. By standing firm in your authenticity, you create an opportunity for growth, not only for yourself, but for those around you as well. The journey of transformation often requires a leader, a person who can embrace the discomfort of growth and challenge others to rise to their potential. While it can be disheartening to be viewed as a problem, remember that this reaction underscores the importance of your role as a catalyst. Your willingness to stand out and speak up serves as an invitation for others to join you on the path of growth. As you continue to embrace your journey and fulfill your purpose, recognize that the labeling you experience is not a reflection of your worth, but rather an indication of the impact you are having. You are a force for positive change, pushing boundaries and expanding horizons. In time, those who once viewed you as a problem may come to appreciate your role in their transformation, realizing that your courage to challenge the status quo ultimately benefits everyone involved. Your journey becomes a source of inspiration, showing others that growth is not just possible, but essential for a fulfilling life. Your journey is not just about overcoming the labels that others place on you. It's also about recognizing that their perceptions often stem from a fear of the unknown. When you embody change and challenge the status quo, you naturally evoke a range of emotions in those around you. Many people are comfortable with predictability, and when someone like you enters their lives with fresh ideas and perspectives, it can unsettle them. They may react by labeling you as a problem, as a means of coping with their own discomfort. Understanding this dynamic is essential. When you pursue your path with passion and determination, you shine a light on possibilities that others may have dismissed or overlooked. This illumination can be intimidating, particularly for those who have settled into a routine that lacks fulfillment. Your presence serves as a reminder that life holds more than what they have settled for, which can trigger feelings of inadequacy or fear of change. Instead of letting these labels discourage you, view them as a natural byproduct of your journey. They reveal the transformative power you possess. When you dare to break free from societal norms or familial expectations, you force others to reckon with their choices. This confrontation can lead to resistance. Some may label you negatively to protect themselves from the vulnerability that comes with examining their own lives. But remember, the journey of growth and self-discovery is not solely about your path, it's also about how your journey encourages others to explore their potential. The fear that arises in response to your presence is a signal of the awakening process taking place in their hearts and minds. They may not initially understand the purpose of your journey, but your determination can serve as a catalyst for their own introspection. In this context, being labeled as the problem is often a sign that you are on the right track. It indicates that you are challenging the limits of comfort and pushing boundaries that need to be addressed. The key is to remain grounded in your purpose and to embrace the role you play in this transformative process. Your journey has the potential to inspire others to reflect on their own lives, prompting them to take action, confront their fears, and seek fulfillment. As you navigate the complexities of this experience, cultivate compassion for those who may struggle with your presence. Understand that their labels are often rooted in fear rather than fact. In this way, you can become a source of encouragement for others to step into their own authenticity, fostering an environment where change is not only welcome but embraced. By continuing to live out your purpose with conviction, you contribute to a collective awakening, showing others that they too can break free from their limitations and embrace a life of authenticity and fulfillment. In a world that often seeks to label and confine, remember that being called the problem is not a reflection of your worth or purpose. Rather, it is an acknowledgement of the transformative power you possess. Your journey is one of courage and authenticity, illuminating paths for others who may feel lost or stagnant. As you stand firm in your convictions, you not only challenge the status quo, but also invite others to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and growth. Every label you encounter serves as a testament to the resistance that change can provoke. Embrace these challenges as signs that you are making an impact, shining a light on the truths that need to be revealed. Your willingness to confront discomfort can inspire those around you to question their own limitations, encouraging them to pursue a more fulfilling life. Ultimately, your journey is not just about you, it is about the ripple effect you create in the lives of others. By remaining true to yourself and following your unique calling, you pave the way for transformation, not only in your life, but in the lives of those who witness your journey. So stand tall, embrace your purpose, and let your light shine brightly. In doing so, you will turn the labels of the past into badges of honor, proving that true change begins with the courage to be yourself, regardless of the challenges that may arise. There comes a time in life when people will test you, push you, and even provoke you, expecting a specific reaction. They want to see you angry, broken, or discouraged. They thrive on your frustration because your reaction gives them control. But what happens when you refuse to play their game? What happens when you choose wisdom over emotions, self-control over outbursts, and dignity over drama? They become frustrated, confused, even furious, because you did not react the way they expected. People expect you to respond in ways that feed their agenda. When they disrespect you, they expect retaliation. When they betray you, they expect bitterness. When they reject you, they expect you to seek their validation. But when you rise above it, when you walk away with peace instead of engaging in chaos, you disrupt the entire plan. The greatest power you can have over those who seek to manipulate you is to remain unshaken. When a person cannot control your response, they lose their power over you. The reason they are angry is not because of what you did, but because of what you refused to do. They expected a war, but you chose peace. They expected tears, but you stood firm. They expected you to fall apart, but instead you built yourself stronger. They expected you to break, but you rose above it. Maturity is not just about age, it is about wisdom. It is knowing when to engage and when to remain silent. It is the ability to discern which battles are worth fighting and which are mere distractions. Not every insult needs a response. Not every argument deserves your voice. And not every betrayal is worthy of your energy. Some things are best left unanswered. Not because you are weak, but because you are wise enough to recognize that not every battle is yours to fight. The enemy's greatest weapon is deception. He will use people to provoke you, to pull you out of your character, to make you forget who you are. But when you are rooted in purpose, when you are confident in your identity, you do not allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. They are not angry because you were wrong. They are angry because you refused to react. They wanted you to stoop to their level, but you remained elevated. They wanted you to be distracted, but you stayed focused. They wanted to steal your peace, but you held on to it. Do not allow someone else's insecurities to dictate your emotions. Do not allow someone else's bitterness to take root in your heart. Do not allow someone else's chaos to become your storm. The moment you stop reacting the way they expect is the moment you start walking in true freedom. Because real power is not found in controlling others. It is found in mastering yourself. And when you master yourself, no one can manipulate your emotions, dictate your decisions, or pull you away from your purpose. Stay strong, stay focused, and let them be mad. Because their frustration is proof of your growth. People expect reactions that give them control. When someone disrespects you, their goal is not always to hurt you, but to see if they can manipulate your emotions. If they can make you angry, they have succeeded in controlling your state of mind. If they can make you feel small, they have established power over your confidence. If they can make you second guess yourself, they have planted a seed of doubt that benefits them. Some people do not want a resolution, they want a reaction. They are not seeking peace, they are seeking control. They would say things to provoke you, do things to test you, and push buttons to get you to respond in a way that justifies their action. Many people are not moved by truth, but by influence. They do not care about facts, they care about perception. When they attack you, they are not concerned with whether they are right or wrong. They are concerned with whether they can make you respond in a way that suits their narrative. They want to paint you as the problem, and the easiest way to do that is by getting you to react emotionally. They want you to lash out so they can say, look, I told you they were unstable. They want you to argue so they can say, see, they are difficult. They want you to break down so they can say they are weak. But when you refuse to respond, when you remain calm, when you do not feed their expectations, they lose their grip. The moment you allow someone to dictate your response, you give them power over you. If their words can control your emotions, they control you. If their actions determine your peace, then they own your mind. But when you take that power back, when you decide that no one will push you into reactions that do not serve you, they cannot handle the fact that you are no longer emotionally available for their games. They are irritated, confused, and sometimes even furious, not because of what you did, but because you did not respond the way they expected. That is when you know you have won. When you refuse to react, you disrupt their entire plan. They expected you to be defensive, to fight back, to lose control. They set the stage for an argument, but you walked away. They prepared for a battle, but you never showed up. This frustrates them because their power is not in what they say or do, it is in how you respond. Without your reaction, their words lose weight. Without your engagement, their tactics become meaningless. When you do not give them what they're looking for, they are left confused, irritated, and even enraged. People who thrive on control do not know what to do with someone who cannot be manipulated. They are used to getting a reaction, to stirring up emotions, to keeping people entangled in their web of drama. But when you choose wisdom over emotional impulse, when you stand firm in self-control instead of being pulled into their negativity, you take away their influence. They wanted you angry, but you remained calm. They wanted you distracted, but you stayed focused. They wanted you to argue, but you chose silence. This throws them off balance because they have built their power on the ability to dictate how others respond. When a person loses the ability to manipulate you, they lose the ability to control you. They will say things to bait you into reacting. They will provoke you just to see if they still have an effect on you. But when you refuse to engage, when you rise above the pettiness, they are left with nothing but their own frustration. You were supposed to be upset, but instead you smiled. You were supposed to be broken, but instead you stood tall. You were supposed to retaliate, but instead you walked away with your dignity intact. That is when they realize their power over you is gone. And when they see that they can no longer control you, they are left with nothing but their own disappointment. They are not upset because of what you did. They're upset because you did not react the way they expected. They counted on your anger, your pain, your frustration to feed their need for control. They wanted to see you fall apart, to watch you break down, to hear you argue back, because that would confirm their power over you. But when you remained silent, when you stood unshaken, when you responded with wisdom instead of emotions, it threw them into confusion. Their whole plan revolved around pushing you into a reaction. And when that reaction never came, they lost their grip. People who seek control are not looking for resolution. They are looking for dominance. They do not want to solve the issue. They want to keep you in a cycle of emotional turmoil. Every insult, every lie, every act of betrayal was not just about hurting you. It was about provoking you. Because as long as you react, they can say, see, I still have influence over them. But the moment you stop reacting, they panic. The moment you refuse to argue, they become uneasy. The moment you show them that their words and actions no longer shake you, they are the ones who feel powerless. They expected you to chase after them, but you walked away. They expected you to lose sleep over them, but you rested in peace. They expected you to cry over them, but you smiled instead. That is what angers them. Not just that you moved on, but that you moved on without needing their approval, without giving them the satisfaction of seeing you struggle. They thought they had you trapped in a cycle of pain, but when you broke free, it exposed their lack of power. That is why they are mad. That is why they are frustrated. Because the one thing they needed from you, the reaction, they never got. And now they're left with nothing but the reality that you have risen above them. Emotional control is power. The moment you master your emotions, you master your life. The people who try to provoke you know this, which is why they do everything they can to pull you into a reaction. They know that if they can make you angry, they can shift the focus away from their own faults. If they can make you emotional, they can control the narrative. If they can make you act out of frustration, they can use your reaction as proof that you are the problem. But when you refuse to be moved by their tactics, you take that power away from them. People who manipulate others depend on emotional instability. They want you to be reactive, impulsive, and irrational because it makes you easier to control. They are not after truth, they are after domination. They want you to act before thinking, to speak before processing, to move out of emotion rather than wisdom. Because the moment you do that, they have something to use against you. They will say, look how upset they are, while conveniently ignoring the fact that they were the ones who provoked you. They will act like the victim while you are left defending yourself. But when you take control of your emotions, you leave them with no ammunition. You do not give them the argument they wanted. You do not give them the meltdown they were hoping for. You stay calm. The ability to remain unshaken in the face of provocation is what separates the wise from the foolish, is what separates the strong from the weak. Because strength is not about who can yell the loudest, who can argue the best, or who can prove their point in the heat of the moment. True strength is found in the person who knows when to be silent, when to walk away, when to let their peace speak louder than their words. The one who controls their emotions controls the room. The one who stays calm in the storm becomes the leader. The one who refuses to react out of impulse becomes untouchable. And when those who seek to manipulate you realize that their tactics no longer work, they are left powerless. Not because you fought them, not because you argued with them, but because you mastered yourself. And the greatest power a person can ever have is the power over their own emotions. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. When you refuse to react, people assume you are defeated, but in reality, you are exercising the highest form of self-control. The ability to stay quiet when others expect an outburst confuses those who try to manipulate you. They are prepared for a fight, ready for confrontation, waiting for you to lash out so they can justify their actions. But when you refuse to engage, when you do not defend yourself against baseless accusations, when you let your peace speak louder than your words, you dismantle their entire strategy. They insult you, waiting for you to retaliate. They spread lies, hoping you will chase after them in frustration. They twist the story, expecting you to exhaust yourself trying to prove the truth. But when you do not respond, when you let your character speak for itself, they are left with nothing but their own bitterness. The truth does not need constant defense. It stands firm on its own. A lie only survives when it is fed attention. The moment you stop feeding it, it dies. That is why your silence irritates them. They want chaos, but you give them calmness. They want drama, but you give them peace. They want you to explain yourself, to prove yourself, to react emotionally, but you simply move forward, unbothered and undisturbed. When people realize they can no longer shake you, they become uncomfortable. Your silence forces them to sit with themselves, to confront their own actions, to feel the weight of their own guilt. They thought they could control your emotions, but now they are trapped in their own frustration. They expected resistance, but you gave them nothing to fight against. And the most powerful thing you can do to someone who thrives on your reaction is to deny them that power. Because silence is not surrender, it is strategy. And those who know how to use it become untouchable. Your growth threatens them, not because you have done anything wrong, but because you have changed in ways they never expected. They were comfortable with the version of you that was reactive, emotional, and easy to manipulate. They liked the old you, the one who used to argue back, who used to seek their validation, who used to break down whenever they withdrew their approval. But now you have matured. You have learned to control your emotions, to choose your battles, to walk away from unnecessary drama. And that is what upsets them. Not just that you have changed, but that you have changed without needing them. They wanted you to remain stuck in the same cycle of pain and frustration. They expected you to stay trapped in their mind games, constantly trying to prove yourself, always seeking their acknowledgement. But now you do not care. Now you have found a new strength, a new wisdom, a new level of confidence that no longer requires their validation. And that shift terrifies them, because as long as they could predict your behavior, they felt in control. As long as they knew how to push your buttons, they held power over you. But now you have become unpredictable. Now their words do not shake you. Their opinions do not define you. Their approval is no longer a necessity. And nothing is more frustrating to a manipulative person than losing control over someone they once dominated. When you grow beyond their expectations, they will try to bring you back down. They will say you have changed in a negative way. They will call you distant, ungrateful, or even arrogant. But in reality, what they are really saying is, I can no longer control you. They are not mad at your growth. They are mad at what your growth means for them. It means they can no longer predict your reactions. It means they can no longer dictate your decisions. It means they have lost access to the part of you that once gave them power. And that is why they are frustrated, because while they remain the same, you have outgrown the version of yourself that needed their approval. And when you no longer seek validation from those who once controlled you, you become unstoppable. When people realize they can no longer control your emotions, they resort to control through perception. They cannot shake you, so they try to shake how others see you. They begin to spread false narratives, exaggerate stories, and twist events to make you look like the problem. They paint themselves as the victim, portraying you as cold, ungrateful, or even cruel. They do this not because it is true, but because it is their last attempt to regain control. If they can no longer manipulate you directly, they will attempt to manipulate how others view you, hoping that the pressure of public opinion will force you to react. But the wise do not live for the approval of others. The wise understand that truth needs no defense. Lies are loud, but the truth is consistent. And when you refuse to engage in their games, their falsehoods eventually collapse under the weight of reality. They expect you to fight back, to defend yourself, to go around explaining yourself to everyone who listens to them. But when you remain steady, when you trust that time reveals all things, they become even more unsettled, because they realize that no matter how much they try to manipulate the narrative, they cannot alter the truth. Their frustration grows when they see that their words have no effect on your life. They see you thriving while they are still stuck in their bitterness. They expected you to crumble under the weight of their lies, but instead you rise. They expected you to be consumed by their gossip, but instead you remain focused. Nothing irritates them more than watching you succeed despite their attempts to ruin your reputation. And when they see that their words do not break you, they are forced to confront the painful reality that the power they once had over you is gone. That is why they are mad. That is why they are desperate. because they wanted to control you, but in the end, they only exposed themselves. They cannot stand the fact that their usual methods no longer work on you. They have always relied on the same tricks: guilt, manipulation, passive aggression, playing the victim to keep you in line. They knew exactly what to say to make you feel bad, to make you second guess yourself, to make you apologize for things that were never your fault. But now you see through it all. Now you recognize their tactics for what they are. And that realization is what frustrates them the most. Not just that you are ignoring their attempts, but that you have completely detached from the emotional strings they used to pull. They try the guilt trip, but you no longer carry unnecessary burdens. They try to shame you, but you are no longer defined by their opinions. They try to get a reaction, but you give them nothing. And nothing is more infuriating to someone who thrives on control than realizing they have lost all power over you. They push, they provoke, they test every limit, waiting for you to break, but instead of breaking, you remain still. Instead of reacting, you remain composed. Instead of proving yourself, you walk away. They expected you to beg for their approval, to explain yourself endlessly, to seek their acceptance as you once did. But now their validation holds no weight in your life. Now you operate from a place of self-assurance, from a foundation of truth that cannot be shaken by external opinions. That is what unsettles them the most. Not just your silence, not just your refusal to engage, but your absolute indifference to their approval. Because when someone no longer cares about what a manipulator thinks, the manipulator loses all control. And when they see that their words, their opinions, their games no longer shape your reality, they are left with nothing but their own frustration. They thought they could provoke you, but instead they exposed themselves. Every attempt to make you react was not a test of your weakness, but a revelation of their own insecurity. They believed if they pushed the right buttons, you would explode, that you would match their energy, that you would prove them right by reacting in the way they expected. But when you did not, when you stayed composed, when you refused to play their game, the mask they wore began to slip. They could no longer hide behind their manipulation because now everyone could see who they truly were. Your lack of reaction forced them to reveal more of themselves. They wanted to paint you as the aggressor, but your calmness left them standing alone in their anger. They wanted to make you seem unstable, but your refusal to engage made their actions look irrational. The more they tried to drag you into conflict, the more they exposed their own bitterness, their own desperation, their own need for control. And nothing is more frustrating to someone who manipulates than realizing they have overplayed their hand. They are used to shifting blame, to twisting narratives, to playing the victim so that others will side with them. But when you do not respond, when you refuse to participate, they no longer have anything to hide behind. Now people begin to notice that the only one stirring up drama is them. Now the ones they sought validation from start to see the inconsistencies in their words, the exaggeration in their claims, the insecurity in their action. The truth has a way of revealing itself, and when you do not fight unnecessary battles, your silence allows the truth to do the work for you. They expected you to destroy yourself by engaging, by proving yourself, by reacting with the same energy they gave you, but instead their own frustration consumed them. Instead of exposing you, they exposed themselves. Instead of bringing you down, they revealed their own weakness. And nothing is more damaging to a manipulator than realizing they destroyed their own credibility, not because of what you did, but because of what they could not control. They expected you to break, to lose yourself, to be consumed by their actions. They were certain that if they ignored you long enough, if they mistreated you consistently, if they disrespected you in just the right way, you would fold. They thought their rejection would leave you shattered. Their absence would make you beg, and their cruelty would weaken you. But instead, you grew stronger. Instead, you found a deeper sense of self. Instead of falling apart, you built yourself up in ways they never imagined. And now they are angry, not because you hurt them, but because you refused to let them destroy you. They wanted to see you struggling without them, questioning your worth, doubting yourself. But you did not. You moved forward. And that is what unsettles them the most. They see you thriving without their validation. They see you smiling without their approval. They see you finding joy in places they were certain you could never find it. They thought they were necessary for your happiness, but now they are realizing they were never the source of your strength. They were only an obstacle you had to overcome. And nothing frustrates them more than realizing that their absence did not break you, it freed you. The truth is, they were never as powerful as they believed themselves to be. Their influence over you was never about their strength. It was about the control you unknowingly gave them. And once you took that control back, once you no longer needed their validation, once you understood your worth apart from their opinions, they lost everything they had over you. That is why they are upset. That is why they are frustrated, because they see now that you were never weak. You were just unaware of your power. And now that you have embraced it, now that you have stepped into the fullness of who you are, they realize there is nothing they can do to stop you. They thought their rejection would define you, but instead it refined you. They thought their mistreatment would weaken you, but instead it strengthened you. They thought their absence would leave you lost, but instead it gave you clarity. And now all they can do is watch as you become everything they never wanted you to be. Free, whole, and untouchable. There are moments in life when we are faced with situations that test our character. These situations, though painful and uncomfortable, are an opportunity to shape not just our own destiny, but to also influence the lives of others. You see, life has a way of bringing people and circumstances into your path that challenge you, push you to your limits, and sometimes cause you to question your purpose. But it is in these moments that we have the power to teach others a lesson, not through words, but through actions that reflect who we truly are. The key to teaching a lesson lies not in vengeance or retaliation. It is not in trying to make others feel the pain they have caused you. No, the real power lies in your response. How you choose to react can set the example for others, and in doing so, you can teach them something far greater than any punishment could. When someone wrongs you, it is easy to fall into the trap of bitterness and resentment. It is easy to want to fight back, to prove your point, and to make them understand how much they've hurt you. But I want to challenge you today to take a different approach. Instead of focusing on the wrong that has been done to you, focus on how you can rise above it. In your silence, in your calmness, in your ability to forgive, you teach those around you that there is strength in restraint. You teach them that not every battle needs to be fought. You teach them that true power comes from within, not from the external forces that try to pull you down. The lesson you must teach, not one of retaliation, but of resilience. Show them that you cannot be broken by their actions. Show them that your peace, your joy, and your purpose are not dependent on how others treat you. When you rise above their negativity, you teach them that you are not easily, and show them that your value is not defined by their opinion, their action. Remember, there are times in life when words are unnecessary. Your actions, your character, your ability to respond with grace and dignity in the face of adversity will leave a lasting impression far greater than any spoken word. People will look at you and wonder how you managed to stay calm, how you were able to move forward with such strength. And in that moment, you will have taught them a lesson that will impact them for the rest of their lives. So when life presents you with an opportunity to teach someone a lesson, don't look for ways to bring them down to your level. Look for ways to lift them up by being the best version of yourself. Teach them that there is a higher way to live. Teach them that the true measure of a person is not found in how they react to others, but in how they rise above the storms of life. In the end, the lesson you teach will not only transform their lives, but it will elevate your own. You will become a beacon of light for those around you, and they will see in you the power of self-control, resilience, and above all, love. This is how you truly teach them a lesson. Not through what you say, but through what you do. Let your actions speak louder than words, and let your example be the lesson that stays with them forever. Life has a way of putting us in situations that stretch us, that challenge us in ways we never imagined. We all face moments where everything feels uncertain, where things go wrong, and it feels like the world is against us. But in those very moments, something powerful is happening. You see, adversity isn't just a random part of life. It's a test of your character, your values, your ability to rise above the noise and to stay true to who you are, even when the storm is raging around you. Now, most people, when faced with difficulty, try to escape it. They wish it away. They look for the quickest way to get out of the discomfort. But those who understand the deeper truth of life know that these challenges, while painful, are opportunities in disguise. They're not just obstacles to endure. They're chances to grow, to evolve into the person you were always meant to be. This is where true strength is built. Not when things are easy, but when they're hard. The world is full of people who allow life's difficulties to define them. They let failure, disappointment, and hardship write the story of who they are. But you have a choice. In those moments when life tests you, you can choose to let it break you, or you can choose to let it shape you. And when you make that choice, when you decide that no matter what comes your way, you will stand tall, you will be unshaken, you will respond with the strength and dignity that only those who understand the deeper meaning of life can have, then you will not only transform yourself, you will impact the world around you in ways you can't even imagine. You see, challenges don't come to hurt you. They come to reveal to you who you really are. And it is in those moments of testing that your true character is revealed. Will you rise above? Will you continue to hold your head high? Will you maintain your integrity? Will you stay committed to your purpose even when the world tries to knock you off course? These are the questions that life asks you, and how you respond will determine not only your future, but also the legacy you leave behind. Remember, no one ever remembers the person who gave up when things got tough. They remember the one who stood firm, who persevered, who fought the battle with dignity and grace. So when life tests you, and it will, don't shy away from it. Embrace it. Understand that you are being shaped for something greater. And know that in those moments, you are becoming the person you were always destined to be. And that person, my friend, will not be easily forgotten. In this world, we are constantly bombarded with challenges, criticism, and sometimes even betrayal. It's easy to think that teaching someone a lesson involves giving them a piece of your mind, retaliating, or showing them just how wrong they were. But let me tell you something. True lessons aren't taught with words. The most powerful way to teach a lesson is through your actions. You see, when life throws challenges your way, it's not just about what happens to you. It's about how you react. Your response in the moment of pain, in the moment of frustration, speaks louder than any argument, any heated exchange, any retaliation ever could. Think about it. When someone wrongs you, the temptation is to lash out, to prove to them that they hurt you, to make them understand your pain. But when you choose to remain calm, to not be dragged down by their actions, to rise above it with grace, you send a message that cuts deeper than any words ever could. You show them that you are not easily shaken. You show them that your peace, your joy, your integrity are not for sale, not dependent on how they choose to treat you. And that is a lesson that will last far longer than any momentary victory in a fight could. People often think that teaching a lesson means showing someone their place, putting them in their spot, but the real power is in demonstrating strength of character. It's in showing them that you are secure enough in who you are to not stoop to their level. It's in choosing the higher road, the road of forgiveness, the road of letting go. And in doing so, you teach them something far greater than a momentary triumph. You teach them that their words and actions do not define you. You teach them that you are above the small-mindedness of petty arguments and negativity. The lesson that you teach through your actions is not just for them, but for everyone watching, for everyone who sees how you carry yourself when life gets tough. It's easy to react when things are going well, but true strength comes when things aren't. Your actions, your composure, your ability to respond with dignity in the face of an attack send a powerful message that words never could. It others how to rise up, how to stand firm, how to forward without being consumed by bitterness or anger. And remember, the beauty of teaching a lesson this way is that you never need to say a word. Your silence becomes your strength. Your composure becomes your message. And when others see how you handle life's difficulties with grace, they will learn from you, not because you told them to, but because you showed them how. The lesson you teach is one of resilience, of rising above, of not allowing circumstances to dictate your peace, your purpose, or your character. And when you respond this way, you are not just teaching them, you are elevating the standard for everyone around you. You are showing them a better way to live. When life throws adversity your way, the natural reaction is to want to fight back, to make things right, to stand up for yourself. But I want you to understand something crucial. Real power is found not in reacting to the situation, but in how you choose to rise above it. You see, the world expects you to fight back, to engage in conflict, to get caught up in the drama. But when you refuse to lower yourself to that level, when you don't retaliate, when you choose peace instead of conflict, that's when you demonstrate the true power that lies within you. It's easy to get caught up in the emotions of the moment, to feel justified in lashing out, to want to get even when someone wrongs you. But the strength comes when you hold your ground with grace, when you remain calm in the face of provocation, and when you refuse to let the negativity around you dictate your actions. This doesn't mean that you're weak. On the contrary, it means you have mastered yourself. It means that you understand something deeper. Your peace, your integrity, and your purpose are not dependent on the actions of others. They are anchored in something much greater than the temporary circumstances that surround you. When you choose to respond with silence, with composure, or with forgiveness, you show the world that their attempts to provoke you have no power over you. You show them that your mind is set on something higher, that you are not willing to be distracted by petty arguments or fleeting issues. In that moment, you don't just win the battle, you win the war. You've shown the strength of your character, the depth of your inner peace, and the power of your resilience. It is in those quiet moments of restraint that true power is revealed. Don't misunderstand me. Choosing not to retaliate doesn't mean you're a doormat. It doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It means you recognize that you are in control of your responses, that you refuse to let the external world define how you feel or how you act. The person who controls their response is the one who holds the key to their future. You don't let someone else's actions pull you off your course. You remain steady, unmoved by the chaos around you. The real power then lies in your ability to refuse to be dragged down by negativity. The more someone tries to provoke you, the more you rise above. The more they try to draw you into a fight, the more you walk in peace. This is not weakness, it's strength. And it's a strength that others will notice, a strength that will make them pause and wonder, how can they stay so calm? How do they keep their peace in the midst of all this chaos? You show them that real strength comes from one within, then a place of confidence and security that doesn't depend on how the world treats you, but on how you choose to respond to it. So when life tries to provoke you, don't engage in the battle. Rise above it. Let your silence, your calmness, and your strength of character teach a lesson that words never could. The world might expect you to fight back, but when you choose peace instead, you show them the power of self-control, the power of standing firm, and the power of walking in dignity no matter what comes your way. And that, my friends, is where true strength lies. Bitterness is a poison. It's a poison that seeps into your heart, into your mind, and into every part of your life if you let it. When someone wrongs you, there's a natural inclination to feel hurt, to feel betrayed, and to want to hold on to that pain. After all, they deserve to know how much they've hurt you, right? But here's the thing about bitterness. It's not about them. It's about you. The person who wronged you may have moved on, but you're the one who is still holding on to that anger, still carrying the weight of it. And that weight becomes heavier with every day you let it stay. The truth is, bitterness doesn't harm the person who hurt you. It harms you. It consumes your thoughts, clouds your judgment, and makes it nearly impossible to move forward. It traps you in the past, in a place where you relive the pain over and over again. But what if you decided to let it go? What if instead of holding on to the hurt, you chose to release it? What if you chose to move on, not for them, but for your own peace, your own healing? Releasing bitterness doesn't mean you're excusing the wrong that was done to you. It doesn't mean you're saying what happened was okay. What it means is that you're refusing to let someone else's actions control your emotions or your life. You're choosing to let go of what no longer serves you, to free yourself from the chains of resentment, and to step into a life that is not defined by past hurts, but by the power you have to heal and move forward. When you release bitterness, you open the door to healing. You make space for peace to enter, for joy to return, and for your mind to be clear of the negativity that has been clouding it. The longer you hold on to the pain, the more it becomes a part of who you are. It shapes the way you view the world, the way you interact with others, and the way you see yourself. But when you let go of that bitterness, you reclaim your life, you reclaim your peace, you reclaim your joy. You become free, not because the person who wronged you has changed, but because you have. This is the beauty of forgiveness. It's not about them, it's about you. Forgiveness is not an act of kindness toward the one who hurt you. It's an act of love toward yourself. It's the decision to stop letting someone else's actions control your emotions, to stop letting their behavior hold you hostage. And when you make that decision, when you choose to forgive and move forward, you will experience a freedom that goes beyond anything you could ever imagine. You might wonder, but what if they don't deserve forgiveness? And to that I would say, forgiveness is not about them deserving it. It's about you deserving peace. You deserve to live your life unburdened by the pain of the past. You deserve to be free from the chains of bitterness. You deserve to step into a future where you are in control of your emotions, your thoughts, and your destiny. So let it go. Let the bitterness slip away. Release the hold that past hurts have on you. And when you do, you will find that you've not only healed yourself, but you've also made room for something much greater to come into your life. A peace that surpasses understanding, a joy that doesn't depend on circumstances, and a strength that comes from within. Knowing that you no longer allow the actions of others to dictate how you feel or who you become. You see, life is not just about what happens to us, it's about how we respond to what happens. And there's a profound power in how we choose to carry ourselves, especially when life challenges us. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers. But what you must have is a sense of self-awareness, a deep understanding of who you are, and the strength to stay true to your values, no matter what the world throws at you. When others wrong you, when they try to tear you down, there is something far more valuable than revenge or retaliation. What is truly powerful is the ability to walk through that storm with your head held high, with your character intact, and with your peace unshaken. And it's not easy. No one said it would be. It's a battle that starts within, a fight for your own sense of self, your own integrity, and your own peace. But it's a fight worth fighting. When you let others dictate how you feel, when you react out of anger, frustration, or fear, you've already lost. You've given them control over your emotions, over your actions, and over your peace. But when you decide to hold your ground, to stand firm in your truth, no one can take that from you. Your strength lies in your ability to remain true to yourself, to refuse to let the actions of others pull you off course. It's not about what happens to you. It's about who you become through what happens. Life has a way of testing you, of challenging you to see what you're really made of. And it's easy to think that when things go wrong, it's a reflection of who you are, that somehow you've failed, or that you are powerless in the face of it all. But the truth is, what you experience doesn't define you. What defines you is how you respond to those experiences, how you rise in the face of adversity, how you maintain your integrity, your peace, and your vision, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. There will always be people who try to tear you down, to challenge your worth, to throw obstacles in your way. But the real power is not in avoiding these things. It's in how you deal with them. It's in how you choose to stay focused on your purpose, your vision, and your path. No matter how many people try to distract you, no matter how much life tries to knock you off course. What people fail to realize is that when you refuse to be shaken by their actions, when you remain calm and composed in the face of adversity, you become a force to be reckoned with. You become someone who is not easily influenced by the negativity of the world. You become someone whose presence commands respect, not because you demand it, but because you have proven that you are unmoved by the things that would cause others to crumble. So stay true to who you are. Know your worth, and don't let anyone make you question it. When life challenges you, when others try to bring you down, remember that your response is what matters. It's not the storm that defines you, it's how you navigate through it. And when you choose to rise above, when you choose to stay focused on your purpose, when you choose to remain true to yourself, you teach the world a lesson that words can never convey. You show them that you cannot be shaken, that you cannot be defined by their actions, and that you will not allow anyone to take away the peace, the strength, and the purpose that lie within you. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of what others think of you. We all want to be accepted, to be liked, to be seen in a positive light. But let me tell you something. The moment you begin to live for the approval of others, you lose the power to live for yourself. You see, when you are constantly seeking validation, constantly measuring your worth by the opinions of others, you are handing over control of your life to them. You are allowing someone else's judgment to define who you are and how you feel about yourself. But what if I told you that you don't need anyone's approval to be who you are? What if I told you that you don't need anyone's permission to walk in your purpose, to stand in your power, to chase your dreams? The truth is, the moment you stop seeking approval, the moment you stop worrying about how others perceive you, you unlock a level of freedom that most people will never experience. Because when you are no longer shackled by the need to please others, you become free to be yourself, to take risks, to fail, to succeed, and to grow without fear of judgment or rejection. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you held back from doing something you wanted to do because you were worried about what people might think? How many dreams have you put on hold because you were too afraid of criticism? How many opportunities have you missed because you were seeking the approval of others? When you allow other people's opinions to dictate your actions, you confine yourself to a life that is smaller than what you're truly capable of. And let me tell you, you are capable of so much more. There will always be people who don't understand you, who don't agree with you, who don't support you. And that's okay. It's not their job to understand your vision, to walk in your shoes, or to live your life. Their opinions don't define you. They are just a reflection of their own experiences, their own perceptions, and their own limitations. But the beauty of life is that you get to decide who you are, what you stand for, and where you are going. And when you stop worrying about what others think, you start to live your life on your terms, according to your values, your goals, and your dreams. Now, I'm not saying that you should ignore the people around you completely. We all need support, encouragement, and guidance at times. But there's a difference between seeking guidance from those who have your best interests at heart and seeking approval from everyone around you. When you live for the approval of others, you are constantly looking for external validation. But when you live for your own truth, for your own purpose, for your own growth, you start to create a life that is uniquely yours. One that is not swayed by the opinions or judgments of others. It's time to release the need for approval. It's time to stop seeking validation from people who don't have the power to shape your destiny. It's time to take ownership of your life, your decisions, and your future. When you stop living for the approval of others, you reclaim your personal power. You reclaim your confidence. You reclaim your joy. And most importantly, you reclaim your freedom. Free yourself from the prison of other people's opinions, and you'll find that the world opens up to you in ways you never imagined. You'll discover a life of purpose, authenticity, and fulfillment that is yours and yours alone. There are moments in life when it feels like the world is against you. Everything you've worked for seems to fall apart. Every plan you've made seems to unravel, and every door you knock on remains firmly shut. It's in those moments when nothing seems to be going right that it's easy to feel defeated, to feel like giving up, and to question whether any of your efforts have been worth it. But let me remind you of something. Sometimes the greatest blessings come from the hardest seasons. Sometimes the most valuable lessons are hidden in the toughest challenges. And often, the best things in life are the ones that require the most patience, perseverance, and faith. When things aren't going the way you planned, when it seems like your efforts are in vain, that's when your faith is truly tested. It's easy to have faith when everything is going well, when doors are opening and when the path is clear. But real faith, the kind of faith that can move mountains, is the kind of faith that stands firm when everything around you is shaking. It's the faith that refuses to let go even when the situation seems impossible. It's the kind of faith that knows that just because things aren't happening now doesn't mean they won't happen. It's the kind of faith that holds on even when everything in you wants to let go. Sometimes God delays your plans not to punish you, but to prepare you. You see, there are things you need to learn, ways you need to grow, experiences you need to go through in order to be fully ready for the blessing that's coming your way. And when you understand this, when you realize that delay does not equal denial, you begin to change the way you look at your circumstances. You stop seeing them as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones, building your character, your strength, and your resilience. It's in these moments of waiting that you find out what you're really made of. You find out how strong your faith really is. You find out whether you're willing to continue moving forward even when you don't have all the answers. And you discover that the real journey is not just about reaching the destination. It's about who you become along the way. You might wonder why the path has to be so difficult. Why does it seem like everyone else is getting ahead while you're stuck? But the truth is, everyone's journey is different. Everyone's timing is different. And just because it seems like others are getting what you want right now, doesn't mean that your time isn't coming. It doesn't mean that your blessing isn't on its way. Sometimes God has to prepare the way before he blesses you. Sometimes he has to prepare you for the magnitude of the blessing he's about to pour into your life. So instead of growing frustrated or impatient, learn to embrace the waiting period. Understand that this time is not wasted. It's a time for you to grow, to mature, to become stronger, and to develop the qualities that will help you handle the success and the blessing when it finally arrives. The delay is not a punishment. It is preparation. It's a test of your faith, a test of your perseverance, and a test of your ability to trust that what's meant for you will come at the right time. And when that moment comes, when the door finally opens, when the blessing finally arrives, you will look back and realize that it was worth the wait. You'll realize that everything you went through was necessary to get you to where you are. You'll understand that the struggles, the challenges, and the delays were all part of the process, shaping you into the person who is ready to receive what you've been praying for. So hold on a little longer. Don't let the delays make you doubt your worth or your purpose. Trust that God has a plan for you, one that is greater than anything you could imagine. Keep moving forward. Keep trusting and keep believing that your time is coming, because sometimes the greatest blessings come to those who wait. And when they arrive, they're more than worth every moment of patience you had to endure. There's something incredibly powerful about the realization that not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay there. The connections we form, the people we allow to influence us, are all part of a bigger plan, a bigger purpose. Sometimes people come into our lives with the intent of teaching us something, but their presence is temporary. And that can be one of the most difficult truths to accept, especially when we've invested so much time, energy, and emotion into those relationships. It's hard to admit that someone who we thought would always be by our side may no longer have a place in our future. But the reality is that not everyone is meant to walk with you through every season of your life. You see, some people enter your life for a reason. They're there to teach you a lesson, to show you something about yourself, to help you grow, and sometimes even to push you toward the next chapter of your life. But once that lesson is learned, once the growth has occurred, their role in your story has ended. And this is where many people struggle, because they confuse the lesson with the person. They think that just because someone was significant for a period of time, they should remain significant for the rest of their lives. But that's not how life works. People come and go, but the lessons they leave behind remain. And those lessons are what shape you into the person you're becoming. It's in these moments, when people drift away or when relationships end unexpectedly, that we begin to realize that not everyone who's been part of our story is meant to continue walking with us. It's easy to want to hold on, to try to keep the relationship intact because of the emotional connections we've formed, the history we share. But sometimes Holding on to the wrong people only slows us down. It prevents us from growing, from moving forward, and from stepping into the future that's waiting for us. What you need to understand is that your growth and your purpose are too important to let anyone hold you back, no matter how much you care for them. Sometimes the people who leave your life are doing you a favor. They're making space for the people who are meant to walk with you through the next phase of your journey. And while it may hurt, while it may feel like a loss, it's actually an opportunity for transformation. It's an opportunity for you to learn to let go of what no longer serves you and to make room for the new things that are coming into your life. You must trust that the people who are meant for you will stay. They will understand your purpose. They will support your growth. They will walk with you through the highs and lows, and they will encourage you to be the best version of yourself. But not everyone will understand your journey. And not everyone will be willing to walk beside you as you evolve. When you let go of people who no longer align with your purpose, you free yourself. You free yourself from the emotional weight that comes with trying to hold on to something that isn't meant to be. You free yourself from the distractions that prevent you from moving forward. You give yourself permission to grow, to evolve, and to embrace the new opportunities and relationships that will serve you in ways that you cannot yet see. This isn't about cutting people off out of anger or resentment. It's about recognizing that relationships are not static. They are dynamic and they evolve over time. People grow in different directions, and sometimes those directions no longer align. But rather than clinging to the past, rather than holding on to something that's no longer serving you, understand that letting go is an act of faith. It's trusting that the right people will come into your life at the right time and that your journey is far from over. It's trusting that as you step into your purpose, those who are meant to be a part of it will find their way to you. And so when someone leaves your life, don't view it as a loss. View it as an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn, and to step into the future that's waiting for you. Trust that the right people will stay and that the lessons you've learned along the way will guide you toward your destiny. The people who leave will feel the absence of your light. And in time, they will realize that they were never meant to walk the entire journey with you. And they will understand that it wasn't their place to hold you back, and by stepping away, they allowed you to rise. Sometimes life presents us with obstacles that seem insurmountable, challenges that appear so great, so overwhelming, that they threaten to break us. It's in those moments when you're faced with what seems like an impossible situation that you have two choices. You can either give up or you can rise up. The choice is yours. The path to greatness isn't always easy. It isn't always clear. But one thing is certain. The only way to truly conquer your obstacles is to face them head on with unwavering faith and determination. Many times, we feel like our problems are too much to bear. The weight of the world feels heavy on our shoulders, and the more we struggle, the more the weight seems to increase. But let me tell you this. Just because a situation feels heavy doesn't mean you're not strong enough to carry it. The challenges in your life are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to refine you. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a chance to become stronger, more resilient, and more determined to keep moving forward. And every struggle is a stepping stone leading you to a place of greater wisdom and greater strength. When faced with adversity, your response matters more than the challenge itself. How you respond to the difficulties in your life determines whether they will defeat you or propel you toward greatness. It's easy to fall into despair when things aren't going your way. It's easy to throw in the towel and believe that your dreams are out of reach. But the truly successful, the truly resilient, are the ones who refuse to back down in the face of difficulty. They are the ones who, despite the setbacks, keep pushing forward with the belief that their breakthrough is just around the corner. It's in these moments of trial that your true strength is revealed. When the odds are stacked against you and the world seems to be telling you that you can't make it, that's when you need to dig deep and remember why you started in the first place. That's when you need to tap into the power that lies within you, the power that has brought you this far and will carry you through to the other side. You are stronger than you think. Your ability to endure, to persevere, and to keep moving forward, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart, is what will define your success. Don't allow your obstacles to dictate your future. Don't let your circumstances define who you are or what you are capable of. You are not your problems. You are not your setbacks. You are not your failures. You are a person of purpose, a person of strength, and a person capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. The challenges you face today are just a small part of your story, and they do not have the final say in who you will become. It is your response to these challenges that will determine your destiny. You must choose to rise above your circumstances, to rise above your fear, and to rise above any obstacle that stands in your way. Understand this. Your breakthrough is not just waiting for you on the other side of your struggle. It is being forged in the middle of your struggle. The victories that you will one day celebrate are being shaped in this very moment. The person you are becoming, the strength you are building, and the wisdom you are gaining are all products of the challenges you are facing right now. Every moment of difficulty is an opportunity to grow, and every step you take through the fire is preparing you for the success and the fulfillment that is coming your way. So when you are faced with your next obstacle, when you feel like the weight is too much to bear, don't give up. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Stand firm, rise up, and push forward with everything you've got. Know that you have everything within you to overcome what you're facing. And when you come out on the other side, you'll look back and realize that the obstacles were never meant to break you. They were meant to make you stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. Sometimes the hardest lessons in life come from the people we least expect. They may not always be the ones we want to teach us or the ones we think should be in our lives forever. But life has a way of using people to shape us, to guide us, and to show us the truths we need to learn. Often, these lessons come in ways that are difficult to accept. And at times, the people we trust the most may be the very ones who betray us, disappoint us, or even walk away when we need them the most. But here's the thing. These moments are not meant to break you. They are meant to build you. They are not meant to make you bitter, but to help you grow stronger, more resilient, and more aware of the power you hold inside yourself. When someone betrays you, your trust hurts you or leaves your life unexpectedly, it's natural to feel pain. It's normal to want answers, to want to understand why, to seek closure. But understand this, the lessons that come from those painful experiences are often ones that shape your character in the most profound ways. These lessons teach you about boundaries, about trust, about the importance of self-respect, and about knowing your worth. They show you what it means to be discerning with the people you allow into your life, and to understand that not everyone who enters your story is meant to stay there. The people who hurt you, the ones who disappoint you, they play a crucial role in your personal growth. It's hard to see it in the moment, but they help you learn what you will and will not tolerate. They show you where your weaknesses lie and give you the opportunity to strengthen them. They push you to realize that your happiness, your peace, and your purpose cannot be dependent on anyone else. Your journey is your own, and the people who truly belong in your life will respect that. But here's something else to consider. While people may hurt you, they will also feel the impact of their actions. They may not feel it immediately, and they may not even feel it in the same way you do, but eventually they will come to realize that they lost something valuable. They will realize that they took for granted your kindness, your loyalty, and your love. They will see that their actions have cost them the opportunity to walk with someone who truly valued them. And when that time comes, when they reflect on what they've lost, they will feel the pain of their own choices. They will feel the weight of their decisions, and in some cases, they may even regret how they treated you. But here's the lesson you must learn from this. Don't allow someone else's failure to affect your journey. Don't let their mistakes hold you back from the future you are meant to create. Let their departure, their actions, and their consequences be the catalyst for your own transformation. Let their absence be the space in which you grow stronger, more confident, and more in tune with the path you're on. Don't let their missteps define you. Let them define themselves. And above all, never allow bitterness or anger to take root in your heart. Holding on to resentment only ties you to the past and keeps you from moving forward. People who hurt you are often dealing with their own struggles, their own issues, and their own insecurities. Their actions, as painful as they may be, are often a reflection of their own internal battles. When you hold on to the hurt, you are giving them power over you. But when you release the anger and the pain, you take that power back. You take control of your own life, your own emotions, and your own future. The most powerful thing you can do is let go of the need for revenge, the need for validation, and the need for closure from the person who hurt you. The closure you seek isn't found in the other person's apology or acknowledgement. It's found in your own ability to move on, to let go, and to rise above what has happened. It's found in the peace that comes from knowing that you are stronger than the situation, that you are wiser because of it, and that you are ready for what lies ahead. So let the people who hurt you walk away. Let them feel the consequences of their actions, and let them learn from their mistakes. You focus on your growth, your healing, and your journey. Know that those who are meant to be a part of your life will remain, and they will bring the love, respect, and trust that you deserve. And those who walk away will eventually come to understand the value of what they lost. And when that happens, they'll understand a lesson that you learned long ago. Some people leave your life not because you did something wrong, but because they were never meant to stay. In life, the lessons we learn from the people who hurt or disappoint us often shape us in ways we never anticipated. While the pain of betrayal or loss can feel unbearable at times, it is important to remember that these moments do not define our future. They refine it. They teach us to set boundaries, protect our peace, and grow in wisdom. The people who hurt us may feel the weight of their actions later, but it is in our ability to release resentment and move forward that we truly win. Our strength, growth, and transformation are not dependent on anyone else's behavior, but on our own choices to rise above, heal, and continue walking towards the future that is meant for us. Let go of the past, trust in your own journey, and remember, those who are meant to stay will do so, and those who leave were never meant to stop your progress. Keep moving forward, knowing that every step brings you closer to your greater purpose.